Hello everyone, I'm Bishi, and today we are playing more Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve. We are in episode 2 still. We are about to get into the second day of investigation, so we're gonna get to look around for more clues and stuff like that, which is part 3 of the whole case. So yeah, we're gonna be making some more progress today, but welcome in. Thank y'all for spending your Friday here. 22nd February, 1:11 p.m. Naruhodo's legal consultancy. All the furniture is gone. Phew, made it back in one piece. Just. To be perfectly honest, I thought we were finished there for a while. Oh, I know. What a lot of close shaves. There are so many carriages on the streets of London. You were very nearly flattened several times. Oh, no, I didn't mean that. Yes, I know. It was a marvelous defense, Naruhodo-san. It really was. I was in awe of you. Oh, thank you. And now that your fervent exploits have won us some more precious investigation time, let's see if we can't find some new clues for court tomorrow. Yes, let's do that. Is everything alright? I suppose. I still can't quite believe it, that's all. That I'm here in England, working as a lawyer, I mean. In the Old Bailey, no less. The truth is, it shouldn't be me, should it? It should be him standing in my shoes. It should be Kazuma. It was Kazuma-sama's wish that you follow him to Great Britain and work alongside him. Yes. I mean, I never had the chance to ask him exactly why, but he clearly had a plan. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for him. And you're doing wonderfully, Naruhodo-san. I've no doubt that Kazuma-sama would say exactly the same if he were here with us. Thank you, Susato-san. Thank you. The way she looks here, specifically, she looks so sweet. So caring and kind. So I wonder why the room is empty. Is this before we moved in? I'm confused. Where's all their stuff? Okay. Yeah, I guess let's talk to her. Well, really what we want to do probably is go explore, but I'll talk to her first in case she says something interesting. Okay, today's trial. It was quite a shock earlier today, wasn't it? When the victim himself turned up in court and took the stand. I know. Not only that, but then finding out that he is actually a bare-faced gas thief as well. Yes, that was certainly a surprise to us all. For a while, it seemed as though everyone had quite forgotten about Soseki-san poisoning the tea. Careful of your phrasing, Susato-san. He didn't poison anything. And there's more to this Mr. Shamspear than we yet know, I'm sure of it. Mr. Shamspear certainly wasn't the noble, upstanding man everyone thought he was at first. What's become of him, actually? I was told that he'd be returning to the hospital ward where he was receiving treatment. Oh, which one is that? Wonder if we can visit him? Let me see. He's at St. Bartholomew's, or Bart's as Londoners call it. We know that place, don't we? Yes, we visited Miss Green there yesterday. It's the same hospital to which she was taken. Yes, after Soseki-san stabbed her in the back. Do be careful of your phrasing, Naruhodo-san. He didn't stab anyone. Perhaps we both owe Soseki-san an apology. St. Bartholomew's. Yes, we should probably visit the hospital later. Okay, so we will. We're gonna interview him. Interrogate him. What next? So, we know that Soseki-san took tea to the victim on the night in question. But as he isn't the culprit, then obviously... Yes, the poison surely wasn't in the tea. But if that's the case, how on earth did the poison get into Mr. Shamspear's body? I'm sure we'll find a clue at the scene. There must be something in Mr. Shamspear's room that will help solve the mystery. Well, naturally, Scotland Yard detectives have been over the place already. But it couldn't hurt for us to have another look around, I think. Definitely. And I'm desperate to know the outcome of the investigation into the tea left in the bar of soap. Well, if we run into Inspector Gregson, we could ask him about that. We got plenty to do. And then, Kazuma's wishes. Kazuma Asogi, the best friend I ever had, and a lawyer with such promise. He really saved my bacon in that horrible incident just before we left Japan. Saved my bacon. I can still picture him now, looking so fierce and determined in court. And then after the trial, that wild idea he came up with. As a stowaway? Yes, you can fit inside my trunk if you curl up small enough, I'm sure. No one will know. I forgot he hid in the trunk. Kazuma, won't you tell me why? Why go to these lengths so that I can accompany you to Great Britain? Well, it's been on my mind ever since we got through that trial. But you really ought to go into law. Be a defense lawyer. You've got a natural talent for it. Believe me, I guarantee it. But I've never even thought about becoming a lawyer. Well, I can't force you, obviously. You'll have to decide for yourself. But anyway, London is the cultural capital of the world, a city at the forefront of everything. It can't hurt for you to see it with your own eyes. No, that's true. I suppose, though, if you were to become a lawyer, then one day... One day what? Oh, no. Never mind. Why didn't he tell him? Naruhodo-san? Oh, sorry. I was just thinking about Kazuma. Yes, he's forever in my thoughts, too. To change the Japanese judicial system for the better. That was his dream. And that's why he so desperately wanted to come to Great Britain to study, of course. Yes, that's right. But... Yes? I do wonder if his true intentions lay elsewhere sometimes. I don't know. The thought just takes hold of me every now and then, that's all. Oh, Kazuma's true intentions. Did Kazuma just plan on wearing the same outfit the whole time since Ryo was in the trunk? He only brought a change of headband. He just brought like 20 headbands, it's all he could fit in there. Oh. Has Naruhodo changed his clothes at all? His suit must smell like sweat and justice. Make that a new cologne. Sweat and justice. No, they got that protagonist armor in the sense that you can wear the same thing every single day and it will never get dirty because you're the main character. 30 suits, all identical, or that. Naruhodo-san, what do you mean by Kazuma-sama's true intentions? Oh, I mean this. His katana? I never expected to inherit this sword after Kazuma passed away, of course. No, I know. It was because I asked you to take it. When I have it at my side in court, I feel as though it gives me courage. Yes. Actually, the night before he died, he told me a little about the sword. Haruma? That's right. It's a prized sword that's been passed down through generations of the Asogi clan. Japanese man's sword is his soul, Ryunosuke. I can't be parted from my katana. Haruma guides me. I truly believe that. So, its name compels its wielder to slice evil in two? Not that you would need such much compelling. On that subject, there's something very important that I have to do in Great Britain. Something you have to do? Yes. I'd appreciate you seeing it through with me. Of course I will. Whatever it is, I'll see it through to the end with you. I knew you wouldn't let me down. What did he mean by something very important that I have to do? I'd hoped that the answer to that question would become apparent when we arrived here, but as yet, I have not found a single clue. I see. Alright. That's kind of like a refresher of Kazuma's character. I guess let's skedaddle. We can go see Mr. Shamspear. I think we also want to go to the crime scene, but I don't see it on here. I guess... Do I need to go to Briar Road first? That's weird. Maybe we'll go to Briar Road first, but I guess let's go to Mr. Shamspear since I know he's right there. Smells like Yagami from Judgment. Oh my god. Every morning he opens his closet. What am I gonna wear today? It takes him 20 minutes to choose. They're all like various different shades of the same color. Like just slightly different. Oh, I thought... Oh, my bad. This is the crime scene. Okay, I was thinking it was Mr. Shamspear in the hospital. My bad. Okay, we're doing the crime scene first. And I guess he's... We'll look in a second. 22nd February, Mr. Natsume's lodgings, ground floor. Oh, hello again, Inspector Gregson. What are you doing here? Well, we were hoping to have another look around, actually. The lawyer representing the defendant has a right to examine the scene, as I'm sure you're aware. Yeah, I know the score. Oh, yes, one more thing. The soap on the ledge outside the window. Did you find it? With the tea in it? Yeah, we found it all right. And there was a small amount of tea in it, as you said. I knew it. It's with the identification section at the yard now. They're looking into it. The results should be available later today. That's wonderful news. Thank you. Pretty impressive performance in court this morning. Sorry? Nothing. Forget it. Just make sure you don't disturb anything in here. Alright. Anyway, I was trying to think out loud here. And there's a picture right there, but I was just looking at the text. I was like, oh, this is probably for us to go look at Mr. Shamspear in the hospital. So I think he's probably in the bed next to where Miss Green was. So if we want to go talk to him, he'll probably be here. My bad. And then we could probably also talk to Natsume, but I think we should look at everything else first. We could even talk to Mr. Garadeb again. Okay. Is it Miss Green at St. Center's? No, she actually is at St. Bartholomew's. It said that the other day. Where is it? It doesn't say here, but yeah. She is at the other one. And I was confused about that too, because I remember the hospital in the first game was St. Sinner's, and now in this game there's suddenly another hospital called St. Bartholomew, so I don't know. I don't remember what was going on before, but in this game they're at Bartholomew. Which of course is more difficult for me to say, so that's great. That's just great. Okay, we're gonna look around. I guess we could also talk to Gregson. Yeah, I think so. I felt like they always just use Sinners. Where did that one come from? I don't know. I was surprised by that too. I was like, oh, I thought the hospital was St. Sinners. I mean, it says we've looked at everything other than this. Okay, we could look at the soap again. I guess just like with new eyes, we're looking at the same stuff. Okay, we'll start with this then. You ran out of change. You wouldn't even have any light, let alone heat. For the needy, London's winters can be very harsh. That's true, but if you think about it, even the wealthy would find themselves freezing if they ran out of small change. London's winters can be very harsh for the forgetful, too, then. Frankly, I'm starting to wonder if Susato-san and I are going to make it to spring. That's true. We don't even have a meter at Baker Street, let alone a gas stove. Look how dark the stain on the floor is underneath the meter there. Yes, from all the water dripping out after the ice coins melted, as you established in court this morning. It's a very large and obvious stain, isn't it? Mr. Shamspear must have used an awful lot of ice coins, I suppose. It was an ingenious idea, I'll give him that. Now the soap. So it turns out that Mr. Shamspear wasn't eating the soap at all. That's right. The mystery of why he had it on a plate whilst holding a fork in his hand is solved. Yes, to prise his latest ice coin out of its mold. And in the process, he accidentally broke the bar of soap in two. It certainly was hard to imagine, let alone deduce. And the teacups. Ah, the ill-fated teacups from which the two men drank on the ill-fated night. During their heated literary debate, yes. Who's stronger, Romeo or Juliet? It sounds like it was quite a discussion. Now I think of it, I'm sure that the two lovers in the play ended their lives with poison. That's true. That's fiction, Mr. Sato. Let's hope it stays that way. There's a connection there. Hey, Roxy, welcome. I think it's where Sholmes went when he got shot last game. Yes! That's where I remember it from. St. Sinners is where Sholmes went. But I can't remember if that was the hospital that was used throughout the whole game. That was the most recent hospital name in the game. That's what I'm going off of, but my memory is crap. Was Shamspear illegally living here, or is this... No, yeah, he's renting this place, and he really is renting here. He's not squatting. But he wasn't paying for his... basically his electricity, the gas that he uses to light the fire, keep him warm, cook stuff, all of that. So he was using ice coins instead of real coins, so he was stealing gas. And we've got the bricks again. The sun never shines in this room, thanks to that depressing bricked-up window. Yet, with enough determination, you can always remove the bricks to set some soap outside, can't you? That sounds like a very wise life lesson, Mr. Sato. Only if you plan to follow a life of crime, Mr. Naruhodo. That's it. Okay, we got that letter still. So really, there's not much to find here. Let's just talk to him. Are you looking for new clues, Inspector? On Lord Van Zeek's orders, yeah. Don't come back till you've got something for me, he says. Oh dear. Poor you. Poor you! Yeah, poor me, because we've already searched every bleeding nook and cranny in this place. I dunno what he expects, to be honest. Thank goodness for warm chips is all I can say. Well, at least he's honest. His diet is just fried potatoes and fish. That's all he eats. Sir, your cholesterol. Your heart, sir. That's it. There's not really anything here for us. Alright. I figured there wouldn't be much, but I wanted to check. Okay, let's try the hospital. Healthiest Victorian diet. There's the rat! It's still there! 22nd February, St. Bartholomew's Hospital. Recovery ward. What do you suppose is happening? It sounds like some sort of a disturbance. Yes, I hear angry voices. Yeah, see? He's here. Be not angry, O ample lady. Verily, thou art mistaken. Mistaken, my foot. You were looking at my painting. The eye of man hath not heard, the ear of man hath not seen. 'Twas foul indeed, the poison that mustached villain gaveth me. Forgive me, lady. I wish that you died from that poison. Oh, damn! God a mercy, ample lady, but thou seest I have vigor still. Behold my Shakespeare dance! I'm just gonna go. This is just the rest of the stream now. Like, what the fuck is he doing? He's just hopping and then, like, dabbing? He's like, look! Hop, 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 reverse dab. He's the personification of berries and cream. He is dancing aggressively. It's like he's doing jumping jacks. Look how much energy I have. Berries and cream, berries and cream. He's the little lad that likes berries and cream. There he goes. There's also a T-pose for half a second. Yeah, just a little bit. Okay, fine, I'm back. Not that he can afford the berries and cream. Behold, my sham spear dance! You're scaring her! He's like dancing at her intimidatingly. Dancing at her menacingly. This looks rather ominous, doesn't it? I think I caught him midair. Perfect. It'll look like he's levitating. Actually, you're a Charlie Bancho! I'd be scared too if he never stopped. It's ominous because she's shaking. Oh god! He's scary. He's scary. He's just like... Isn't that scary? That's scary. I know he's smiling, but it's scary. I don't like it. Ah, lo! 'Tis the lawyer from the land whence riseth the sun. How now? Brown cow. What are you doing here, Mr. Shamspear? No laughing challenge. Oh, Lord. Okay, I think it's 5 minutes. Starting now. What are you doing here, Mr. Shamspear? Mary, I do believe I am returned unto another ward. He was looking, that's what he was doing. Looking at my terrible work. Terrible. Eastern fellow, so dark ye clad. Faith, thy work in court this morning was wonderful. I do applaud thee. Oh, well, thank you. He's scary. I was also trying not to laugh. He's scary. But that doesn't mean things will go so wonderfully for you tomorrow, does it? Oh. Just gonna fix it. Oh. Good as new. It's made of, like, foil. Anon! Exeunt! Once again, he just noped out of there. Mr. Shamspear might technically be the victim in this case, but there's definitely a lot more to it than that. It's very hard to pin the man down. I'm so sorry. I'm such an awful person. Oh, Miss Green. Is everything all right? Oh, yes. I mean, don't worry about me. They're about to discharge me, so I must get ready to leave now. Oh, I see. We're delighted that you'll soon be well enough to go home, Miss Green. Oh dear, you're too kind. I don't deserve it. Who hurt this woman? Who hurt her? Is there anything new to look at? Okay, things are still checkmarked. That is still checkmarked. So I wonder if he was the one wandering the halls. Yeah, I think we've already seen everything. Okay. So we can't really talk to Shamspear. He's not visible. Maybe we can talk to her about him, though. She might tell us something. I mean, why would she want him dead, right? He's probably a terrible person. He's actually a Bender robot from Futurama. My question is how the hell he afforded that plastic. It sure wasn't a thing yet. So that's all metal, and even fake stones cost a bit. I don't know. I don't know. It's just like... It's like, unfired clay. Like, it's just wet clay that he just, like, painted. And then he has to make a new one, like, every day after the clay dries so he can have, like, a posable one. I don't know. Who hurt her so I can hurt them? Exactly. So, are you feeling more like yourself today, Miss Green? I am. Thank you. I mean, people do recover from ordeals like this, don't they? Even people like me. Well, yes. It really was an ordeal, wasn't it? As far as I was concerned, I was just walking along in the snow one evening, minding my own business. And then, completely out of the blue, I was struck in the back by a knife and collapsed unconscious for days. Of course, when I finally woke up again yesterday, the whole business had been cleared up already. What a terrible week it's been for you. Oh no, I'm sure I'm very lucky, really. I'll look back on this fondly. Really? Anyway, I must be getting my things together now, so I'm ready to be discharged. Oh yes, of course. Sorry to take up your time when you're obviously busy. That's it, huh? Okay, well, we did get to see Shamspear's little dance, so... I guess let's get out of here again. We check the room. I guess let's check the Gyarados. Maybe colored glass and painted rubber. There we go. Maybe something like that. Cardboard gems. Oh yeah, the cardboard badge! Forgot about that. I can laugh again, by the way. I can laugh again. 22nd February, Mr. and Mrs. Gyarados' room. Mr. Gyarados appears to be out. Oh well. I suppose we'll just have to come back again later. Okay, never mind. Is there anything to look at in here? Not really. It looks the same as the first game, honestly. Okay. Let's see, Mr. Natsume. Oh, man. 22nd February, local prison, cell 9. Oh, Mr. Natsume is back. So he is. Mr. Natsume, hello? I'm a cat. Sorry? I don't know who Mr. Natsume is, or Hairlock Sholmes. I don't know about courts or trials or Old Baileys. I am a cat. That's what I am. Just a cat. He's lost it. Mr. Naruhodo, he's trying to escape from reality. Trying to? He already has. Completely. So, what is your name then? As yet, I have no name. Mr. Naruhodo, he hasn't fully thought out his new identity yet. Maybe it's not too late to bring him back to reality. Do you think you could open your eyes for us, Mr. Natsume? I am not a cat. It worked! He's back in the real world. What's going to become of me? No! Don't answer that! It's obvious! My accursed soul is never going to escape this accursed fate. Mr. Natsume, no. This morning's proceedings in court proved that there's hope. Yes. Locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire was brilliant, but the Reaper is omnipresent. In court, in my lodgings, here, there, everywhere! What's he looking straight at me for? I think perhaps there are some things we should discuss. Oh, yes. Yes, we must. Alright. This morning's trial. You gotta nya so he can understand you. Nya, 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 nya. Oh, of course. Thank you for redeeming nya. Now, is that with just the ears, or is that the ears and the paws? I don't remember. I think the other one is like full nya or something. I think it's just the cat ears. Okay. I do also have paws. Alright. That's pretty even, right? Yeah, maybe that. I think so. In my whole life, have I ever been so moved as I was today? No. Of course, if I cast my mind back, there were perhaps one or two other occasions that moved me more. But if I just block those out, then today, being in that courtroom was... It was the most moving experience of my life! Locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire! You're too kind. Scotland Yard found the remaining tea just as we deduced and are analyzing it as we speak. There's nothing wrong with that tea. They won't find a drop of poison in it. That's a solemn, sworn Soseki certainty! I bet it is gonna have poison, though. But that doesn't mean he put it in there. Tell me, did you both drink the tea at the same time that night? Oh yes, most definitely. Remember, drink tea while it's hot. So Shamspear was lying when he said they didn't drink tea together. There's nothing in the tea, and that's the tea. We both poured it down our throats like it was a hot bath for our bellies. The sentence just sounds so weird to me. And at the time, you were both completely fine. As shown by the fact that he and Mr. Shamspear then engaged in the Romeo and Juliet match. I suppose the focus of tomorrow's proceedings would be how the poison was taken by the victim, then. Okay. I'll write that down. Mr. Shamspear. That rotten Shamspear! What have I ever done to him? You don't recall him taking issue with you over anything you've done recently? I've been holed up in my room, immersed in books. I don't recall anything. Anything at all! I mean, he did beat him in a wrestling match. Maybe he was upset. Right. But what I don't understand is why he didn't let me know sooner. Let you know what, Mr. Natsume? About the soap, of course. What else? Oh dear. Are you struggling with such a meager stipend? Of course I am. If I had money, I wouldn't have chosen to live an accursed existence in such accursed lodgings. Oh yes. You said it's because the place is cursed that it's so cheap, didn't you? Exactly. Especially the room that I rent. The spirit of that capital offender who lived there still haunts the place, and it's trying to kill me! Capital offender? Might I ask, locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire, the next time you visit me, you bring scores of super soft soaps? You're gonna steal gas too? Capital offender? Capital... What did he say exactly? Yeah, capital offender. So like a murderer? I think that's it. Unless we need to present stuff to people. I haven't tried that yet. Mr. Natsume, it's nothing much, but it's been too long since I've been offered a present with that delightfully humble etiquette of our homeland. What? You're too kind. I accept it gladly. Sorry, I wasn't trying to give it to you, actually. Hmm. Okay, he doesn't know about the paper. Hmm. Anyone home at Sholme's? 22nd February. Sholme's suite. There is the baby.
Oh, Ruuuvo and Susie! Hooray, you're back!
Hello, Iris. You're in fine spirits as always, I see.
I am, and you look as immaculately presented as ever, Susie.
Oh, you flatter me.
Why, you couldn't have come at a better time. I've just made a pot of tea. I'll set some cups.
Is it poisoned? Really? Thanks, Iris. But actually, what is that foul smell? Aha! The Wanderers return at last. Where on earth have the pair of you been? We've been in court? Oh, for Mr. Mustache's case. That was today, was it?
I'm sure I mentioned it only yesterday, Mr. Sholmes.
I'm sure you think you did! Ah, ha, ha, ha. Well, we can laugh about it now. So tell me, how did the trial go? Reasonably well so far. We've managed to escape without a guilty verdict, at least. Really? I would have liked to see it. And I must pass the time of day with Mr. Reaper again. It's been too long. Is Lord Van Zeek's an acquaintance, Mr. Sholmes? Naturally. There's not a person in the world who doesn't know my name, Mr. Naruto. He didn't seem to really like you. Very much. Not quite what I asked, but still.
Mr. Sholmes, whatever is that odor?
Yes, what is it? It's faint, but absolutely awful. Ah, indeed. That's the scent of victory, my dear fellows. Victory in science!
Oh dear.
Alright, I'll bite. What's he up to now? Up to something stinky? Lord Van Zeek's? Okay, we'll ask about that first. Yes, I heard about that new Procreate program, Arkham. It sounds super, super cool. I love Procreate. I don't even draw, but like, I think Procreate is probably one of the better options out there. You're gonna get it when it's out, Ruuuvo? Ooh. Yeah, I love that it's not subscription-based. I hate that so many services are going the subscription route, because it just makes things so inaccessible for people long-term. Okay, Lord Van Zeek's. Lord Beric Van Zeek's. Yes, it's an interesting sobriquet he has, isn't it? The Reaper of the Bailey. Once the legendary prosecutor has fought for someone's conviction, that person is doomed. Even if he or she is found not guilty by the courts, sooner or later the hapless soul will vanish from the capital. But vanish how exactly? By falling under a passing carriage, or drowning in the Thames, or succumbing to a sudden fever, or quite out of the blue being set upon by a highwayman. There are numerous routes to one's final terminus, my dear fellow. It all seems a little far-fetched, really. Well, on the bright side, Mr. Mustache is fighting fit, for the time being at least. That's not overly reassuring.
If the rumors are true, though, the obvious conclusion would surely be that those acquitted are, well, by Lord Van Zeek's own hand.
As it happens, Miss Usato, that is quite impossible.
Oh? Why?
Naturally, the man very quickly came under such suspicion. However, whenever these incidents occurred, the Reaper always had a cast-iron alibi. Really? And so his reign continued, but 5 years ago, he vanished from the courts, never to appear as a prosecutor again. That is, until you arrived in the country, Mr. Naruto. Yes, so I've heard. In fact, it was the very day I arrived when I was thrust into that trial at the Old Bailey that bitter fight to the death coincided with the Reaper's resurrection, and really did end bitterly indeed. And here you are, facing Mr. Reaper again.
Poor Ruuuvo. I don't know if you're just incredibly unlucky or incredibly unlikable.
I think it goes deeper than just me. I sense a general loathing of all Japanese people. Japanese people. I guess let's go with that first, and then we'll talk about the smell. With Mr. Natsume, who I'm currently defending, being Japanese, as well as Miss Susato and myself, I felt it even more keenly in court today. For some reason, Lord Van Zieks seems to have an inherent disdain of the Japanese. Indeed. It is an interesting observation.
Do you know something about it? Do you, Mr. Sholmes?
It was about 10 years ago that Baruch Van Zieks chose to enter the legal profession. However, before that time, the young man's closest companion hailed from the Empire of Japan. So his best friend was Japanese. Okay.
No.
What the? Tell us more, Mr. Sholmes. What happened? I believe I've made it clear before. I'm unable to tell you anything about the affair. Huh?
Oh, but...
Why? The veil will be lifted on the events of the past in due course, I have no doubt. So secretive! For now, however, it is Mr. Mustache who is most deserving of your attention, I believe.
Okay, fine.
Foul smell. So, what is that indescribably foul smell? Ah, well, most probably this, I would say. What is that? My dear fellow, it is, of course, my latest invention. A chemical test that can identify whether or not a tea is genuine at the drop of some tea.
Oh my.
There are some unscrupulous sorts manning the stalls along some of London's less frequented streets. They regularly sell what purports to be high-quality tea, but is in fact merely dyed leaves of drab flavor. Well, that's certainly unsavory behavior. So, when one is presented with what appears to be black tea, one must be careful. Iris?
At the ready, Hurley.
Let us add a drop of my chemical to this cup of tea here. Do you see what happens? Oh, it's turned completely black.
And what a foul odor it's giving off.
Indeed. The blacker the tea becomes, and the more foul the odor, the better the tea is. Oh. It would appear that this cup was a particularly fine, Darjeeling. That's very ingenious. But what do you do with that black liquid now? Why, dispose of it naturally. Surely you wouldn't like to drink it, would you?
There does seem to be a rather obvious problem with your new invention, Mr. Sholmes.
Hence why this chemical test is merely a test, my dear madam.
Right.
The point is, we are entering a new era of science. In the world of criminal investigation also.
Yes, forensic science. Oh, these are such exciting times.
I regularly engage in this scientific experimentation alongside my unofficial consulting detective work. The Herlock Sholmes method will be the foundation upon which modern investigative technique is based. This little tea indicant was a happy byproduct of my ongoing forensic science research. Forensic science? I suppose I should find out more about that. I got another thing to talk about, okay.
Yay, stink science!
The stinkiest kind. So, your tea test, is that an example of forensic science? Indeed it is. An essential tool in cases that hinge on the knowledge of whether some tea is of high or inferior quality. Not a huge number of cases, then. Perhaps a more practical example is required. Fingerprints? Not yet accepted in our courts as evidence, I might add. Really, we are dragging our heels here. I hadn't even heard of them until recently. Which is partly why I undertake research in this field myself, of course.
Does that mean you're studying fingerprints, Mr. Sholmes?
There are others in that field already, and I abhor the company of inferior minds. No. What I am researching is skin prints. Skin prints. A nomenclature of my own design, as is this chemical agent that makes it possible. It instantly reveals objects touched by whichever person is under investigation.
Huh. Brilliant, Mr. Sholmes. As long as it doesn't turn everything completely odorous and black.
I assure you, my dear fellows, you will witness my forensic talents in action very soon indeed. Well, I think we should go back to the scene and see if we can uncover any new clues. Oh yeah, I guess we can maybe use his science.
That's the spirit, Ruuuvo. See you later.
Yes, until later. No, Mr. Sholmes. We were thinking you would come with us. You were? Yes, of course. You said so just a moment ago. You said we'd witness your forensic talents in action. Ah, yes. I do recall saying something along those lines. But you go on ahead. I shall be sure to follow you later. In all likelihood. Probably. Maybe. Well, I might. Your commitment astounds me.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Sholmes. We will eagerly await your arrival. Bye-bye, Ruuuvo. Bye, Susie.
Hey, Alfred, welcome. Mr. Sholmes already hit the pose and bid farewell. You can't make him go. That's true. That's true. Alright, so we're going back to the scene of the crime. Yes, here we go. Oh, there's Mr. Sholmes! He's back. Back again. Mr. Sholmes, what are you up to over there? What a question indeed. Was it not your good self who asked me to attend the scene? Oi, what are you doing here, Sholmes? What are you up to over there? What are you doing here? Dear me, once a great detective, one is always under scrutiny, it seems.
Is now the time, Mr. Sholmes? Are you about to show us your forensic talents in action as you promised?
With the greatest of pleasure, my dear madam. Let's see it. Goggles on. What's all this? He's using them goggles! All this is precisely what you requested, Mr. Naruhodo. Sherlock Sholmes' sensational skin print seeker gun. Moments ago, I took a sample from the teacup that was used by the victim. Sample? From Mr. Shamspeare's cup? Each individual leaves microscopic secretions on everything he or she touches. A sample of those secretions is all I need to produce this, a refined indicator solution. By liberally spraying the room with this chemical, everything the victim touched is instantly revealed with the aid of these goggles. Here, try them on. We get to wear the goggles? Hell yeah! There, now spray the chemical indicator about and all will be revealed. Hold on, I also need to be blue. If I can figure out how to do it, hold on. Hold on. I wonder if I can. I think so. Can I also be blue? I can be green? No, I can only be green or like red. No, I wanted to be blue! I can't be blue! No! We'll have to settle for green. I'm gonna take the gaiters off now. This is all I got. Only green. Unless I have like a filter I could use to be blue. I wonder if I have filters, because this is just the hue I'm messing with. Let's see. Filter. What we got? What we got? Oh, there's more. Yeah, more colors. Woo! Oh, there's a really blue one. Which? Oh my god, I'm like fully blue. Okay, let's go with the cyan. Bitch, I'm blue. Oh my god. Girl, I am blue. Why are you blue? You can't just ask someone that. Now spray the chemical indicator about and all will be revealed. Spray? How do I do that exactly? A little press of A on the area you're interested in is all that's required. Like this. Oh, what is that stuff? It's like fog. A suspension of the chemical indicator is a pressurized gas. It's the most efficient way to cover a large area. That was another invention I discovered incidentally whilst I was developing this idea. As you do. Go ahead, try it, my dear fellow. We may learn something interesting about the victim's movements on the night in question. Well, there's nothing to lose, I suppose. Let's explore. Okay. Ow. So, oh, he didn't touch that then. Oh, I knew it. I knew that floorboard looked suspicious from the very beginning. I was like, there's gotta be a way to lift this up. Oh my god. Look at all this here. Ah, yes. Interesting. A multitude of the victim's handprints. Why are there so many of them on the floor in this one spot? Ooh, perhaps he had a bad fall just here? There's nothing obvious that he would have tripped over, though, is there? I wonder. Personally, I often stumble when there's nothing obvious to trip over. I think that's something only a great detective would do, Mr. Sholmes. Well, this is quite a puzzle. Handprints all over the floor. Yes, there's no obvious explanation. Just gonna spray everywhere, but I bet that's what we need to find, is that... Okay, so this is the same thing again. He just trips over the same spot again and again. But what else can I do? Nothing? I just have to spray and spray and spray? I mean, I think I got everything. As much as I enjoy being blue. Shamspear's handstand corner. Yeah, there we go. I'm just spamming A, seeing if I can spray anywhere. I think that's it. How do I get out of here? How do I stop? There's more? Oh, shit. I really thought I was being thorough. I was showing this again. Okay. He likes doing push-ups there. Oh, now it's letting me spray a shit ton. It's weird. Sometimes it lets me spray and sometimes it doesn't. Oh! I was trying to spray there! It wouldn't let me! Look, there are dozens of handprints here. So there are. A great many indeed. So much so that it's hard to make out any one individual print, in fact. It sends a chill down my spine. Perhaps he was leaning against the wall while he admired this picture? Unlikely, I would say. It's a rather dull scene, after all. And without wishing to state the obvious, You wouldn't generally admire a picture from such close quarters, I feel.
Very true, Mrs. Sato.
It's a bit of a mystery, then.
Okay, I think, okay, I can't be blue now. I can't be blue anymore, it'd be weird. Okay. But I'm glad I could be blue. Well, we sprayed Mr. Sholme's amazing skin print indicator all over this room, didn't we?
We did, but there are 2 places in particular that are of interest, I would say.
Mm-hmm. The handprints on the floor there. And on the wall by the picture, you mean? Champspear's wall push-up corner. I mean, those are a thing. You can do push-up against the wall, but... That's where he practices his Von Karma wall pose. Oh my god. Skin print is so weird to me. Like, Sholmes, please. You're only getting handprints. Right, handprint would make more sense, because it's like fingerprint and handprint, but... And it's kind of weird, like, oh, we don't use fingerprint technology yet. Only, I think, in, like, one country they mentioned before. But we can do a handprint.
I think the floor warrants closer investigation. I won't be a moment.
I was suspicious of that the whole time.
Ah,
what is it, Mrs. Sato?
Look here, Mr. Naruhodo. One of the floorboards has popped out.
One of the... You mean... It's a secret hiding place? Excellent work, Mr. Sato. So, what do we have in here? Boy, what are you lot doing? Inspector Gregson, stand aside right this minute. It's my job to investigate there.
No need, Inspector. You continue to dig into...
You continue to dig into your portion of chips, whilst we dig around under the floor here. Your fancy talk's putting me off my food anyway, Sholmes. A new bit of evidence is exactly what I need. Wow. Secret hiding place under the floor. What a find.
It's not a hiding place you can make use of in Japan. I don't think I could lift a straw tatami mat.
No, I know. But I never expected one of these wooden floorboards to move either. Got me wondering about the wall over there, too. Aren't you curious?
Oh. I'll investigate at once.
He's probably gonna interrupt again.
There's nothing behind the picture, sadly. Only the wall.
How disappointing. But then, how do you explain the handprints?
I really can't think why anyone would have been touching the wall over and over in one place like that.
Oh? That you? There you are. A print for you. Photograph of the handprints on the wall has been entered into the court record. Traces of handprints on the wall discovered using the skin print seeker gun. There are multiple prints on either side of a hanging picture. Oh, thank you very much. His invention can make prints too? Now then, I wonder if Inspector Gregson has found anything under the floor there. I'm desperate to know.
So am I.
Alright, let's talk to him. Oh god. Second of all, you think this man... He probably just sleeps, over there. He sleeps, like, right here, in his props. Honestly, though, like, there's no bed. I don't know where the hell he sleeps. Okay. I would love to know if there's anything hidden underneath the floorboard there. Allow me to ask Gregson now. After all, we're well acquainted. Inspector Gregson, really, it's been too long. What is it, Sholmes? I thought perhaps you might show me what you found there, seeing as we're such good friends. We're not friends. No, I suppose not. Now he's gonna be sad. He's gonna be sulking. No? A dismal failure! Yes, I heard. I'd kill to know what was under that floorboard. Alright then, fair's fair. What? You did discover the hiding place after all. I suppose I should at least fill you in. Really, Inspector? Thank you. Do it quickly, my dear fellow. Stop rushing him. If there's one thing I know about this man, it's that he blows with the wind, as fickle as the weather. Boy, stop making me out to be some kind of nut. There were 3 items under the floor there. A newspaper clipping, a photographic print, and a tin box. Now, what do you want to know? Oh, well, all of them, but I guess we'll go in order. Hey, PC Man, welcome. You'd kill, would you, Rio? Why don't you try that right now? Oh no, Mr. Gregson? Aw, Mr. Gregson's alright. Don't hurt him. He just loves his fish and chips very much. Hey, the newspaper. Looks like this was cut out of the paper about 3 months ago. It's about a convict who got sick and died while he was serving time up in Manchester. How terrible. It made the headlines down here in London as well. The bloke had been sentenced to death, you see, but nature got him first.
Oh my goodness. He committed a capital offense?
Oh. Man by the name of Selden. Nasty piece of work. Into burglaries and murder. They say the hoard he'd knocked off was worth about £1,000. Hoard? Of treasure, you mean? Jewelry and the like. But he'd hidden it somewhere, no one knows where, and now he's dead. Papers loved it, of course. £1,000 lost en route to hell, or some such was the headline. Does it not strike you, though? Why such an article would be so carefully ensconced under the floor? I suppose now you mention it, it does seem a bit odd. Perhaps I'll go over the paperwork we've got on Selden back at the yard, see if I can turn anything up. Alright, capital offender article. A newspaper article about Selden, a criminal sentenced to receive the death penalty. However, he died of illness in prison while his loot remained undiscovered. We got the photo next. Oh no, you've been dealing with a headache all day? I'm sorry, Peace Man. Those are the worst. Those are the worst. I feel like every few months I'll get like a day-long headache. It's terrible. I feel like only sleeping really helps. Because like sometimes even medicine doesn't really help. It's the worst. Oh. Mr. Garadeb? So, this is the photograph I found. Looks reasonably recent to me. Who is that? Oh, that's the same person from the painting, from the picture that Olive had. Yes, it would appear to have been taken on the street in front of the house here. And the gentleman on the left is Mr. Garadeb, the landlord, of course. But who's the young man on the right? Mr. Garadeb's son, perhaps? Perhaps. You can take that print if you like. Really? Are you sure? We can presume, therefore, that the yard already knows. The identity of the young fellow, that is. Oh, is that true? Well, it's too bad if we do. Unfortunately for you lot, leaking information isn't one of my pastimes. My dear Inspector, if I may be so bold as to point something out. Pastimes are for one's leisure, but this is for work. All the more reason I'm not telling you. A dismal failure. Yes, I heard. Hidden photograph. A photographic print found in Mr. Shamspeare's room. It shows the landlord, Mr. Garadeb, together with a young man. We've seen him before. Hey, Juma, welcome in. I wonder why a photograph like this was hidden under the floor. I mean, Mr. Shamspeare himself isn't in it. Photographic prints are still rare treasures in the East End. I imagine Mr. Garrideb was rather delighted to have been immortalized. He probably made a proud present of it. Okay, about the box. Now, this tin box looks interesting, doesn't it? Might I suggest, Inspector, that you open it? If you were to find something inside that reveals the truth behind this case, I wouldn't be in the least surprised. Yeah, funnily enough, I've already had a look. It's completely empty. Well, it's probably where the poison was. What? Shamspeare, give us a clue, man!
You didn't even have the chance to utter a word, Mr. Naruhodo. But anyway, at least we found out what's inside the box.
Yes, thin air. It's empty. Rather like how I feel inside. Is there nothing more to this box, then? I wonder. Kitty cat? Oh! You were behind that the whole time? Oh. Oh my god. I love how it, like, bounced down the stairs.
Oh, look! It's that lovely little kitty cat. What was its name?
It's Mr. Natsume's, isn't it? I don't think we ever asked him, actually. Why don't we call it, Wagahai? You know, like Mr. Natsume refers to himself in Japanese. Oh. I wonder how he got in here. Clever cat.
Oh, wonderful. Well then, Wagahai, here's something delicious I brought for you from the cat's meat man.
Oh. We did say we were supposed to feed the cat. Natsume asked us to feed him. I wonder why it's in here.
He couldn't be happier now, look.
I just hope we can bring some happiness to his owner, too. Alright. I think we're done. Oh, he's making biscuits! Oh my god, I'm covering him. I'm so sorry. I'm covering the cat. There he is. Sorry. Yeah, he's got a little bow tie. Although I think it's a girl, because there's kittens later. Oh, it was pawing the floor earlier. I wanted y'all to see it. No Bishi, only kitty! Hey, that's alright. I get it. I get it. They refer to Wagahai as male in the game. Yeah, I noticed that. But there's kittens. Unless Wagahai's not the mom. But they all look like him. I don't know. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. It's so cute! That was a cheeky little meow, Wagahai. It's doing the biscuits! It's doing the biscuits! Look! Oh my god.
Oh, but he's so adorable. I could sit and watch him forever.
I think he may not appreciate that after a while. And we have an investigation to get back to. So what? Yeah, calicos tend to be female. That's another reason why I was sure it was a girl. And when they said he, I was surprised. And then later on there's kittens, so I'm like, oh, well, maybe they just assumed it's a boy. But it's actually a girl. I don't know. Yeah, I think only like... There's some kind of wild statistic that probably maybe like 5% or 1% of calicos are boys. Like, it's very, very rare. I don't know what the percentage is, though. There's a cute creature on the floor. Wagahai is chilling there, too. Mr. Gregson. Alright, I'll come back now. Alright, I think we're done here. So now... Maybe Miss Green? We could probably look at this picture again. I don't know, it does have a check mark though. Well, let's look at what we got, right? Do we have the little box? We don't. We only have these 3 things, okay. Maybe I could look at the picture. See if I see anything. When we go back. Condemned criminal dies of natural causes in prison. Manchester's Strangeways Prison announced the death of convicted murderer and burglar Selden by natural causes in the early hours this morning. He had been suffering with fever since the end of October. Alerted by the shouts of his fellow cellmate, medical staff arrived to find him already dead before his capital punishment could be carried out. You can't flip the picture around or anything. Okay. See, he's an artist, and I'm pretty sure he is in this picture right here. And we assume it's her, like, loved one, like a significant other, but we don't actually know who it is. There's a photograph in this frame here. Oh yes, it's a picture of a young gentleman. He looks to be about the same age as Miss Green, I would say. Perhaps the young woman's special someone. That's all the same dialogue again. Okay, and I don't think we can actually, like, have a conversation with her. Otherwise, I would show her the picture. But I don't think we can. Let me go back to the room and look at the photo again. I can't look at it. Interesting. Only Susato could look at it. Okay, never mind. Alright, what else? What else? We could go to the prison again. Maybe Garadeb is home. We could ask him about the picture. No? Still? Okay, interesting. I guess the prison? No. Is it storming right now? Oh my god. I didn't even realize there's a storm outside. I just heard some thunder. Hopefully that doesn't mess with the stream at all. I didn't even know we were gonna have a storm. What the heck? I, like, don't even check the weather anymore because I just assume it's gonna be 100 degrees and hot. It shouldn't be bad, though. Doesn't look bad. Okay. What's this? It's a newspaper cutting we found in Mr. Shamspeare's room. Ah, so he knew, did he? Sorry? About this man, Selden. A convicted killer, and the evil spirit behind the curse that afflicts my lodgings. Oh, right! He would know this. I even thought when we uncovered it, I was like, oh, maybe that's the guy Natsume was talking about, and I didn't think to come show him. It just happened to show him right now. Okay. I got it on accident. What? He's already taken one young man's life, and now he's trying to take the life of another. A miserable, mustached, much maligned Japanese man. Mr. Natsume, if you know something, please, you must tell us. Tell us everything you can about this evil spirit. There we go. Progress! Progress! Alright, Selden. The truth is, I didn't know the details myself until very recently. That Selden man was arrested about a year ago now. And at the time, he was hiding out in lodgings at Mr. Garadeb's house. Okay. I'm gonna take some notes because I'm not playing this again until next week, so I might forget little things. Okay. A year ago he was staying there. What? He lived where you do now? That's right, yes. Exactly where I live now. In my very room. Oh my. Your room was previously occupied by a criminal found guilty of a capital offense? But before his sentence could be carried out, he died in prison. That was 3 months ago now. And that's when it started. The curse! Oh! Died 3 months ago. That's when the curse started. Dang. What really is this curse you keep mentioning, Mr. Natsume? It's already caused one death,
A few months after the criminal passed away in prison, a man died in the room. The man who rented it after Selden, in fact.
Oh, right.
The poor lodger. He was found dead in mysterious circumstances. The room was locked from the inside.
Locked from the inside? Exactly like the case we're dealing with now. So that's the convict's curse, is it? Oh. So the person who rented Mr. Selden died mysteriously. Okay.
Yes, well, that was the start of it.
Convict's curse.
Do you have any idea how the lodger before you passed away, Mr. Natsume? The official cause of death was asphyxia. When they discovered the body, the room was full of gas.
Gas? Oh.
I only found that out after I'd signed the lease. When Mr. Garadeb came to tell me later, I couldn't stop myself trembling. In fact, if I'd known beforehand, I'd probably have been too scared to take the room.
Landlord's lease! Luckily legal! Lucky for Mr. Garadeb, maybe, but not so lucky for poor Mr. Natsume. That's so wrong. You didn't disclose that. And now you believe this curse is affecting you?
It is, at first. I just felt as though I was being watched. All the time.
And then you talked about having nightmares, didn't you?
The dead are trying to take me with them. They come for me and try to suffocate me. Just when I'm struggling to breathe, I wake up. And the room is as cold as ice.
But why is your room so cold?
London winters are too cold to bear without any heating on overnight. But for some reason, even though I light the stove before I climb into bed at night, the pilot light always goes out and the room fills with gas.
But that's terrible. That's exactly the same situation as what led to the previous occupant's death. Holy shit. I'm almost like, is he in the walls? Is someone living in the walls? Oh god. Okay, so N lights the stove at night, but it turns itself off and the room fills with gas. And that's how the previous tenant died. And then there's what happened to Mr. Shamspeare last night, when he was mysteriously poisoned. There's clearly more to that incident that can be explained by a curse, though.
Whatever can be the cause of all these strange happenings in Mr. Garadeb's rooms?
So now we can probably talk to Garadeb. Let's see. Think so. Alright. The real killer, Victorian gas-based infrastructure. Yeah, just bad gas in Victorian times. 22nd February, Mr. and Mrs. Garadeb's room. There he is. Oh, you're here now, Mr. Garadeb.
Right, barely business as it is for me, you know. Getting out and about.
Were you at the Old Bailey by any chance?
Naturally. Fate of my lodgings hanging in the balance and all that. Not a trial to miss.
Fate of what's already been dubbed your haunted lodgings, yes.
Of course, the place has caused quite a stir around the capital on more than one occasion already. As the old haunted lodgings or some such.
Well, at least he knows.
Makes you wonder what the blazes is going on, don't you know?
Yes, I'm sure it does. In fact, thinking back to Mr. Natsume's other trial just 2 days ago. You were at the Old Bailey then as well, weren't you? Testifying with your wife about what happened.
Stopped off at the prison on the way home, in fact. Beastly business.
I see.
So, what brings you to my haunted abode today, eh?
Lots of things.
Okay. Bad gas in Victorian times usually means you have dysentery. Oh no. your lodgings.
Some fishy fellow from the Far East and a failed actor chap of questionable character, eh? Yes, the house does seem to have become something of a magnet for rum fellows of late. Thanks to that bally curse.
Convict's curse, you mean?
Ah, heard the stories, have you? Rotten scoundrel was arrested here, then the next chap in the room goes and keels over. Then there was that woman who dropped dead just outside on the street, not to mention the actor yesterday.
Well, Olive didn't die.
Am I next, eh? Well, can't help but get the collie wobbles, can you?
What?
When you say the woman who dropped dead outside on the street, do you mean Miss Green?
Because Miss Green, who was stabbed by the knife, and Mr. Shamspear, who was poisoned last night, are both very much alive still.
Yes, well, so is that blasted convict's curse, it seems.
Personally, I should be quite content with such lodgings. Where did you come from? A bath, a toilet, a fireplace, a fascinating history. Why, it sounds like the lap of luxury. I'm not so sure about that. I didn't know Sholmes was still here.
Well, there's no bath or toilet included, and no fireplace either.
But you do look out for your tenants, don't you? By watching the rise and fall of the flames in your gas lamps up here.
Yes, never hurts to keep an eye on things, in case there are any mishaps or such like.
I think you've had your mishap already, sir. That's not helpful, Mr. Sholmes.
Heaven forgive me, the words just came to my lips.
Your lodgers.
Some fishy fellow from the Far East and a failed actor chap of questionable character, eh?
There's no need for that, Mr. Garrideb.
That's right. Mr. Natsume is in no way fishy.
He is undeniably peculiar, however. Is it right that he took the vacancy immediately after the previous tenant passed away?
Yes, that's right. I asked this estate agent to find someone and he popped up the very next day.
Very same day, sir.
Never come across a chap so keen for a place with a background, as it were.
I don't think it was the room's background he was keen on, so much as the cheap rent, actually.
So, how long has Mr. Shamspear been lodging under your roof?
That failed actor chap? Let me see. Oh, of course. Yes, it's been 3 months now. Quite sure of it.
So... that is the same time that the convict died. Interesting. Very interesting information. Sham moved in 3 months ago, same time as the criminal died. I imagine Sholme's laugh is just like, Tita's, yeah. Only 3 months. He's quite new here too, then.
And to what do you owe your certainty in that regard, Mr. Garrideb, if I might ask? Well, it was that Selden scoundrel, as it happens.
Selden? The convict, you mean? Do Selden and Shamspear have some kind of connection? Shamspear's tenancy.
That convict chap, Selden, passed away in the clink 3 months ago now, you see. Some malady or other.
Malady?
Yes, we've seen the report from the newspaper at the time.
Well, it was only 3 days later that the
tragedian
showed his face. The actor fellow.
I'll write the second time. Okay. I still won't remember the next time I see that word, I promise. I won't remember. Really?
Yes, I remember it quite distinctly. 'Tis small, this world we inhabit.
Oh, he's getting the dramatic thunder in the background.
This world we inhabit. Prithee, landlord, hear my request. I, the humble Shamspear, do desire to take thy room on the middle floor, offered erewhile for rent. Terribly sorry and whatnot, but that won't be possible. Already have a lodger in the middle floor. Ground floor room's vacant, though.
Nothing can be made out of nothing. Let me repeat mine will unto thee.
Oh. So, I mean, I'm suspicious now that he's actually the convict, and he somehow faked his death and escaped, and now he's coming back, and he's trying to get his old room back. Maybe his old room is where the treasure is hidden. Huh? And he can't get the room because Natsume is there, or no, the other person was there. He kills him, and then Natsume gets it immediately, so he can't get it. So now he's trying to kill Natsume, or get him thrown in prison, and that's why he said, oh, he poisoned me. I think I've got it figured out. Their names both start with S, too. Shamspear. Selden. Wait, he's a convict? I don't know! I know that he's stealing gas, but I'm making the connection that maybe he's that not escape convict, but there's a convict that died the same time he suddenly appears and wants a room. So I'm just thinking, oh, maybe he's that convict who didn't actually die but escaped. Okay, maybe Sham is Selden. Wants his old room back. I'm taking notes. I was thinking the same thing but didn't want to say. Yeah, no, I appreciate y'all not saying your theories all the time because it might make me put 2 and 2 together before I would actually do it naturally in the game, but... He probably would have froze if he didn't steal gas. I get why he did it. If that's the case, where does the poison figure in? Now that I'm not quite sure about. That I'm not sure. I mean, what I immediately think of is maybe he was trying to poison Natsume, it didn't work, and so instead he pretends to poison himself and then try to get Natsume guilty so that he goes to jail and he can take the room. That's my next thought, but I don't know. This is just my game theories. Just my game theories. He wants his old room back. Because of his hidden treasure. I like to write down my theories too, in case I ever want to go back and confirm or deny if I was right. Or also, again, I'm not playing this until next week, so I might forget some of these things. And sometimes my theory becomes true, and I can kind of connect things together as I'm playing the game. It helps me think of what evidence to use, whatever. So I like to write them down so that I'll know later. Oh yeah, that's what I thought before. Maybe that's what I need to do right now, you know. Anyway.
Let me repeat mine will unto thee.
Those curls must be muffling your ears.
Sorry.
Those curls must be muffling your ears. The room on the middle floor is taken. It's ground floor, nothing.
I couldn't remember his voice for a second.
Very well. We have an accord.
See, he didn't want that room.
Glad to hear it. Lo, a Shamspear dance to celebrate.
There he goes. He's just doing the hopping part. There he goes.
From what I heard in court today, sounds like the chap was thieving gas. And he was 3 months in arrears with the rent too. Yes, the fellow was a bally player, all right.
So he hasn't paid the rent the whole time he's been here? He's got no money.
Thank you for your candor, Mr. BishiDove. We are most grateful. By way of appreciation, allow me to say 1 or 2 words. Give me my robe, put on my crown. I have immortal longings in me.
What's happened to you?
Shakespeare, my dear fellow, one of his most famous lines. I wish to divulge my own learning of the subject, for I have a turn for literature too, you know.
Perhaps you could turn your attention to more apt lines, then. I know, he was doing a nya pose, wasn't he? He's riding a horse on a stick like kids have. Yeah, yeah! Okay, I do need to ask him about the picture before I forget. this one. I'm gonna do that too. Okay. I also wanted to say Sham hasn't paid rent. Okay. Mr. Garadeb, could I ask you to look at this photograph? Catboy Sholmes. Is that your son who's with you there?
No, not at all. He was a lodger here once. Duncan Ross was his name.
Duncan Ross. Well, it's probably gonna have that in the photo description. Duncan Ross.
A street photographer happened to be passing, so I asked him to take a shot. Just for kicks, really.
Was he by any chance the lodger before Mr. Natsume?
I didn't even think about that.
Yes, that's right.
Okay. What was his name again?
Ah, the young gentleman who died in the room in mysterious circumstances.
Poor guy. Duncan Ross.
Just what Mr. Mustache was waiting for, one might say. Yes, young Duncan lived in the room at the top of the first flight of stairs before that Japanese chap.
Would you mind telling us a little more about him? The lodger's death.
Yes, Duncan Ross. Young chap was attending art school. Had to work to pay for it, mind. Moved into the middle floor room about a year ago, after that criminal, Selden, was arrested. Young students are always on the hunt for rooms with a history behind them.
A history of cheap rent, maybe, yes?
Yes, well, anyway. It was one morning about a month ago now. Hadn't quite worked out the old trick of watching the gas lamps to see what my lodgers are up to at the time. So sadly, I was rather tardy to discover what had happened. Smell of gas that alerted me it was.
Ah, yes. Synonymous with the smell of death.
Called the police straight away, of course, and the officer kicked the door off its hinges. But once we got inside, we all barely collapsed.
Because of the gas?
Yes, room was full of it. No air at all.
Oh, man.
Stove must have gone out while the poor chap was sleeping in his bed.
So Mr. Ross suffocated to death.
Of course, the police gave me a sound ticking off because the gas pipes were so old and all that. Can't tell you how much it set me back to have the lot replaced all over the house.
But even after you had all that work done, Mr. Natsume says the same thing. The stove goes out at night while he's asleep in bed.
Well, that's the bally curse. The convict's curse. I've done my duty as a landlord now.
Someone's feeling defensive. Yeah, that's a terrible way to die. My God. Alright, so Duncan died 1 month ago.
That reminds me, actually.
Yes?
About young Duncan. The night before the poor chap perished, he'd been writing a letter of affection to a young lady.
A love letter, you mean?
Oh, probably to Olive?
Yes. Where did I put it now? Ah, here it is. Left it on my desk.
If you'll excuse me,
let me see now. What does it say? To my most beautiful and charming sweetheart.
You think that we should be reading such a personal piece of correspondence?
My dear Mrs. Sato, that is precisely why I prefaced my reading with, if you'll excuse me.
I will not excuse you, Mr. Sholmes, no.
Sadly, he didn't address it, though. So I've no means of delivering the thing. Rather sad, really.
I see. It's going to play on my mind.
But really, the identity of Mr. Ross's sweetheart has no bearing on the case.
I think that's wrong.
I think we should leave well alone.
Yes, I suppose you're right.
Indeed, the intended recipient's address is missing. However, there is a name attributed to the man's most beautiful and charming sweetheart.
Mr. Sholmes, please! I've already had to chastise you about this once.
My undying love to you, my colorful darling, Olive Green.
Oh, see, it has a name on there.
Oh,
Olive Green.
a woman who was plunged into a coma after a knife plunged into her back outside the house 5 days ago. The victim of the last case Soseki-san was in court for, who regained consciousness only yesterday. Is it just chance that her name has come up now? Could it possibly be a mere coincidence?
Mr. Naruhodo, whatever can this mean?
Reading personal correspondence can have its merits, you see, Miss Susato. Ah, ha, ha, ha!
Yeah, just make some decent windows and maybe they'll stop dying in your lodgings, man. Alright, so we got all that. So he doesn't say his name. And see, I think the love letter was in this envelope. That's immediately what I thought of. We don't have the love note in our inventory. So maybe we can go talk to Olive now? February, St. Bartholomew's Hospital Recovery Ward.
Mr. Naruhodo, I've just finished speaking with the doctor. It seems Miss Green is well enough to be discharged at last.
This is good news, but hopefully just before she leaves.
Oh,
what is it? Miss Green! Oh. What was she doing? What was that? She clearly just hid something behind her back. What is that?
One moment. I'll be with you in a jiffy.
What was that?
Oh, hello everyone. What are you all doing here? The doctor has said I can be discharged, so I'm just getting my things together.
Miss Green, what were you just doing?
Oh, nothing, really. I was just about to take some medicine the doctor prescribed for me, that's all.
Well, we were hoping to have another quick chat with you, if that's alright.
I don't really have anything else to tell you.
Alright, she's definitely behaving strangely. Let's see if we can't coax something out of her. I wonder if we'll be able to look at this? This is the bottle that Miss Green was just about to drink from when we arrived.
Yes, she looked rather preoccupied, didn't she?
Perhaps it's very bitter. I can't stand bitter medicine.
I suppose that could be it.
In fact, whenever a doctor prescribes me medicine for a number of days, I always take it all at once. Oh no, don't do that! Well, if you have to take something you don't like, it's best to get it all out of the way in one go, isn't it? No?
Oh dear. And I thought it was Miss Green I should be worrying about at the moment.
I got an award? Oh my god. Honestly, this is pretty accurate, of landlords cheaping out on the most basic of necessities. Why didn't he fix it before renting to someone? Gyaradev deserves to be in the Bailey himself. Absolutely, yeah. Mm-hmm. How are you alive, Ryu? Ryu should not be alive, I know. It's like that show, I Shouldn't Be Alive. I think that's what it's called.
Took all my medicine in one day.
This is the card that Miss Green was looking at so intently before, isn't it?
Mr. Naruhodo, we shouldn't be peeking at a young woman's private effects.
Right. I should save peeking for gentlemen's effects only.
You mustn't do that either.
And maybe you, Miss Susato, shouldn't be peeking into a young man's mind either, hmm? So sassy. Alright, let's talk to her. Hospital discharge. It's wonderful news that you're going to be discharged, Miss Green.
Oh yes, thank you. Once people are better, the hospital staff don't want them lingering and wasting space. Not people like me, anyway. So I don't think I should keep anyone waiting. I probably shouldn't stand around and chat.
She certainly doesn't seem to be in the mood to talk, that's for sure. Well, let's show her some stuff. Miss Green, about this.
Oh, would you just hold that there for a moment? Don't move.
Sorry?
No. No, the aesthetics are all wrong.
Is it wrong that I feel so thoroughly rejected? Okay. About the picture. Miss Green, we were hoping to ask you about someone. Mr. Duncan Ross. You knew him, didn't you? Oh my god! What is that?
Oh no, I'm so sorry. The bottle of medicine fell down when she did. Oh, Miss Green, are you alright?
Hmm. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to startle you like that.
No, it's alright. I just wasn't expecting it. But how do you know about Duncan? Mr. Ross had been writing a letter when he passed away. The landlord found it in his room. It was a very personal letter to you. It was at the art school. That's where I met Duncan. A year ago now. He was working to fund his studies. He dreamt of becoming a professional artist one day. And the two of you became romantically involved? Yes, that's right. We were very much in love. We were engaged to be married, actually. That's why he decided to move into a cheaper room, to save money for the wedding.
Oh. Oh no! And that's what led him to Mr. Garadeb's.
Yes. He told me he'd found the worst but cheapest room in the entire East End. And then, 1 month ago, that's when it happened.
Oh.
We're so terribly sorry, Miss Green. Well, it's all in the past now, I suppose. Poor Miss Green. She looks desperately sad.
I was starting to think that's just her look. But now I see that she has every reason to feel the universe is against her. That's terrible.
I do hope you won't think I'm being rude, but... Would you mind leaving me in peace now? I have to leave the hospital soon.
Oh, I'm so sorry. We didn't mean to hold you up. Of course, we'll be on our way. Mr. Naruto! Oh, hello. Surely you were not about to leave. That's quite out of the question. What? Mr. Sholmes, I didn't realize you were here. But of course I was, my dear fellow. Watching intently from the shadows, as always. Well, make your presence known next time.
Mr. Sholmes, what's this about?
The rat! The rat! The rat! The rat! Did y'all see the rat? The rat. The rat is dead. That's poison. She was gonna drink the poison. I knew it. I knew it. The rat! Oh no. Something which occurs to me with some regularity, Miss Usato, is this. Why do detectives look at the— oh my god. Why do detectives insist on such an ex post facto modus operandi? Why solve a case after it's happened, instead of preventing a case before it happens? That is what sets a great detective apart. What do you mean? There is a case waiting to happen under our very noses, Mr. Naruto. So let us avert disaster. Let us prevent this case from ever happening, with nothing but careful observation. Alright. All the clues you need are sent before you. You need only look, and you cannot fail to see. Are we gonna do another one of these?
You can do it, Mr. Naruto. I know you can.
I think it's time. No? Okay, we're gonna look. Oh my god, y'all. The rat! That mouse seems to be dead. Look. I didn't notice it there before, did you?
I think perhaps it drank the medicine that spilled out of the bottle. That's the bottle that Miss Green was about to drink from when we arrived.
Mm-hmm. You don't think... Ah, I see you've come to appreciate the true nature of this scene. That of a tragedy about to take place. Olive. Yes, I think it's falling into place. Miss Green, the contents of the bottle you had before has spilt on the floor, and the poor mouse that drank it has sadly died. Huh. I think it's clear that the bottle must have contained a powerful poison. Olive.
Don't worry. I will attend to the mouse presently.
Oh. Poor thing.
Miss Green, were you intending to go the same way as that rodent? To take your own life?
Once we left, you would have put it to your lips again, wouldn't you? And taken the poison?
No! Miss Green, please. Please talk to us.
And then this letter looks like it's torn up. Like the piece that we have. And why was that in Shamspeare's room? That's weird. It definitely feels as though this card must be relevant. I mean, when we first arrived, Miss Green was standing with it in her hand in what can only be described as a very tense atmosphere.
Yes. It may very well be related to whatever incident Mr. Sholmes believes was about to happen here. Perhaps we should ask Miss Green about it.
Okay. Man. Those shoots, how can we hate rats? He might. Poor rats in like every game of his are not okay.
10 seconds later, and we would have arrived at a very different scene here. In all probability, we would not have enjoyed this most delightful conversation. Of course, perhaps it hasn't been quite so delightful from your perspective, Miss Green.
Poor thing.
Actually, in a way, now that everything's out in the open, I feel like a weight has been lifted.
Tell me, how did you acquire that medicine?
Well, with this being a hospital and all, when the doctor comes to examine me in the mornings, he always leaves the medicine cabinet open for a while, so I snuck this out when he wasn't looking.
Wow.
It conspicuously lacks a label. I wonder what it contains.
I'm afraid I don't really know, so I thought if I drank it, it might just stop the pain somehow.
Oh my god.
Oh, please, Miss Green, don't talk of such things.
Well, it seems clear now that it contains poison. We're gonna need a content warning for this episode. Hold on. I wish I could do content warnings for, like, the games I'm playing, but I never know what's going to happen in the game before stream, so, you know. I'll put a content warning for my YouTube upload of this, though, because that is, oh, what's the timestamp? Round 2, okay. If I can, I do like to put content warnings, for really, really heavy topics like that, you know, just in case, at least in the description or something, so people have some kind of, like, a warning if they need it.
Poor little mouse is proof of that. Oh no. Oh, it's all my fault. What have I done?
I shall remove this to my office, Miss Green. I take it you have no objection.
No, none.
Hard.
Neither the sender's name or address appear to be written on the envelope or the card. It arrived by post at my home the day before the incident that put me in hospital here.
I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. Come to the Slug and Salad on Briar Road at 5 p.m. on 17th. Don't tell anybody else about this letter or the meeting. It is a matter of utmost importance. Huh. Okay. Wait a minute. 17th of this month? That's the day you were stabbed on Briar Road. Oh, okay, so she got a letter to meet the day she got stabbed. From someone who had info about Duncan's death. Okay. I'm trying to remember if there was any other thing ahead that could use such warnings, but I think this should be the only one of this particular kind. Okay. Yeah, that's the thing about doing a first-time playthrough is, other than, like, any general warnings on, like, the game itself of, like, you know, mature content or whatever, I don't want to look anything up just in case I get spoilered, so I have no way of really giving a warning for things. Like, if we're playing particular games, you're gonna know, like, okay, this is gonna have blood in it, or this is gonna have, you know, violence in it, or whatever, but, like, you know, this kind of specific stuff, I don't know until it happens, so. Okay. Yeah, that's the day she was stabbed, so she wasn't able to meet. And 5 p.m. Right. Is precisely the time when the incident occurred. Ow. Okay, so letter said to meet at 5. That's when she got stabbed. We know she got stabbed on accident by the lady, though, so it's so weird it happened exactly then. A more lighthearted note, only other thing that comes to mind might be more an OSHA violation more than anything else. Oh my god. I guess we'll have to see.
A slug and salad, yes. A pub on the northern corner of Briar Road.
Briar Road, being the street that Mr. Garrideb's house is on.
Does this mean that... Yes, I'm sure you've guessed. That day when I was struck in the back by the knife, I was actually on my way to the slug and salad. Goodness.
So that's what you were doing on Briar Road that day. Right, they did mention that she didn't live anywhere near that road.
I'm sorry I didn't say anything before. I think I really will have to ask you to excuse me now. I've told you everything.
Yes, I'm very sorry to have had to drag up such painful memories for you.
No, it's fine. Miss Green, please, promise us you won't try to do anything like that again. Yes, don't worry. Your detective friend has the bottle now anyway. And besides, I've been stabbed in the back and had a close shave with a bottle of poison, and I'm still here. I think I'm destined to see things through to the end. It might sound a little conceited, but, well, that's how all this has made me feel.
Man. Leaving Miss Green and St. Bartholomew's behind, we made our way back to Baker Street with Mr. Sholmes. I personally wouldn't want to leave her alone after that, but... Oh my god. Well, it would appear we've reached the end of the investigative trail for today. Yes, it's late. And, Mr. Naruhodo, did you discover anything that may be of use to you in court tomorrow, do you think? Details about Mr. Shamspeare, Mr. Garrideb's lodgings, the convict Selden. There are many facets to this case, and we're yet to see to the heart of it if you ask me. That's my feeling anyway.
I can't help wondering about the results of the analysis.
Into Mr. Natsume's tea, you mean?
Yes. Will they have found strychnine in it or not?
Well, I fear that either way, it will be hard to escape the grip of our friend Mr. Reaper.
Oh dear.
Yes, Beric Van Zeeks. But I wish you every success, of course, and though I was late to rise this morning, tomorrow will be a new dawn. I intend to spring from my bed at a crisp hour and attend the trial.
Mr. Sholmes, you're going to come?
Indeed. Whatever happens, I shall be there, assuming my eyelids cooperate in the morning. Well, I think we've done all we can. All that's left is to remain focused and keep fighting for Mr. Natsume's cause until the very end. Alright. London, the world's most prosperous city, home to some 6 million people. But away from the razzle-dazzle, down back alleys and behind bricked-up windows, the lonely lurk. Soseki-san had battled long and hard with loneliness during his many months here, and so I felt honor-bound to battle equally hard for my compatriot, to lift the curse that gripped him. As Mr. Sholme said, tomorrow would be a new dawn for all of us.
Alright.
To be continued, probably. We shall continue for now. We'll keep going. London, home to 6 million people, even if we keep getting the same 15 or so as jury. Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm so confused. You got 6 million people. Oh, but you can't get new jury members. Okay, I see. I see how it is. Part 2 of the trial. 23rd February, 9:23 a.m. The Old Bailey Defendant's Antechamber. Oh! Hello? I need a zoom. I need an animated zoom now.
This is it then, Mr. Naruhodo.
We're just here to ignore him. Yes. It's time to put an end to this now. To the miserable curse that has been plaguing Mr. Natsume. To everything.
And in my own small way, I shall do everything I can to help you.
I always appreciate your help, Miss Osato. Suffering Soseki selfishly sidelined! Well, you're not saying anything! So she's like, well, I'll talk to Ryu, I guess. Oh my god. The man is reasonably tense. No, I get it. I do get it. Good morning to you too, Mr. Natsume. Good morning! Good morning, locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire! Listen to you two, chatting away happily as if the main player of today's trial isn't here. Why would you do that? Why?
Oh dear. We didn't mean to cause offense, Mr. Natsume. I thought perhaps that because you had your eyes shut so tightly, you were meditating, finding inner calm. It seemed wrong to disturb you.
I was waiting! What's the matter, Mr. Natsume? You seem different somehow today. Why, naturally. That's because I've attained spiritual enlightenment. The path of literature, you see, is a journey to discover one's own death. Or such like. That's the sort of morning conversation I was hoping for. That's why I had my eyes shut. He's getting a little on my nerves now. I missed the signs, I'm afraid. Somehow. You'll have to forgive me.
And you mustn't talk of your path leading you to death, Mr. Natsume.
That was just an example! Oh, yes. There it is. Inner calm. You barely came to see me at all yesterday. I was sure you'd abandoned me and returned to our beautiful long-lost homeland.
We've not even been in Great Britain a week yet.
Yes, well, anyway. I intend to set everything straight in court today. I'm determined to uncover the truth. Man's having a week, please understand. I know, but jeez! I've actually reached an important decision myself. Oh? What sort of decision? I shall fill you in after the trial. Alright. It's probably his decision to go back home.
It would seem Mr. Sholmes isn't coming today after all. It's a very clever message, I think. My dear fellows, you must win this battle on your own merits.
Whoops. It's a very clear message, I think, that he's overslept again. The great detective, my arch nemesis, long may he stay away, if you ask me. Defendant and your legal representative. Trial's about to begin. Make your way into the courtroom immediately. Today, once again, we face the Reaper. And when the Reaper stands for the prosecution, the defendant's fate is sealed. But I don't believe in that legend any more than I believe in Soseki-san's curse. The truth is hidden here somewhere, and I won't let it escape me. I have to keep believing in my client, and keep fighting to the very end. That's all. Let's do this. Day 2. 23rd February, 9:40 a.m. The Old Bailey courtroom. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. I call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed.
The prosecution is ready.
Yes, the defense is ready. Very good. And now I call upon the 6 ladies and gentlemen of the jury, chosen by lot to represent the will of the people in this trial. Are you ready to proceed?
Absolutely. Justice will be done. You mark my words.
I feel obliged to say, I feel especially ruthless on days when my hat is sitting just right.
Oh, well, I wonder if you could adjust my hat for me. And please, be as ruthless as you like. Oh. Ooh.
Thieves deserve to die, if you ask me. Especially gas thieves. I've no sympathy for the man at all.
Look, I said it yesterday and I'll say it again now. I don't have time for this. I've got my own problems.
Oh, may the Lord show us all the light here, and lead his flock to a righteous verdict again today.
Now, Lord Van Zieks, what can you tell us? Prosecution's report, please, for the court. In relation to the theory expounded by the defense yesterday regarding the defendant's tea. So, he does have the results.
Before the prosecution delivers the black news about the black tea belonging to the blackguard in the dock. Pray, allow me a moment to savor a liquid of a more sanguine hue.
Sanguine?
In fact, I'll defer to the good detective for the report. Here's to you, Inspector.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. As indicated by the defense, we found a bar of soap just outside the victim's window in the snow. And there was indeed a frozen reddish liquid and a little depression on the top of it.
Yes, that's the tea. That's what Mr. Natsume brought with him that night.
Well, the brains at the yard analyzed it, and yes, you're right. It was tea. And there wasn't a trace of strychnine or any other toxic substance in it. Oh, nice!
No poison at all.
In other words, the tea that the defendant brought with him to the victim's room is innocent. It's in the clear. Well, that's a short case. Okay, let's wrap this up. Everybody go home. Stream's over. We did it. Everything's good. Natsume goes home. No issues here. Of course, court case is done. We're gonna go. We're done. You all go to sleep now. Have a good weekend. I'm just waiting for the other shoe to drop at this point. What a revelation. But, where's that but? As I suspected. This makes it quite clear. The defendant, Mr. Soseki Natsume, is blameless here. Yeah.
My learned friend is jumping to conclusions again. A typical Nipponese reaction.
What?
Yes, it's true. No poison was found in the few drops of liquid recovered from the soap on the window ledge. But what logic is that? Would you take a drop from the Thames and conclude that the water in the ocean isn't salty?
My word, the water in the ocean is extremely salty, counsel.
Exactly. Unfit for drinking, just as the victim's tea was on the night in question, as the court has already heard. Bitter was the precise word from the lips of Mr. William Shamspeare.
Tea can be better.
Whom the prosecution now calls back to the stand.
Really? Okay, no poison was found in the tea, in the soap. Very well, I will uphold the prosecution's request.
Mr. Shamspeare.
Yes, it sounds like we're going to have another confrontation with our theatrical friend. Bailiff, show Mr. Shamspeare to the stand.
Mr. William Shamspeare, the victim of this despicable crime. Oh, heaven! Oh, hell! Do you command me to remember? Forsooth, 'twas I, Shamspeare, did have a bellyful of the foul fluid given, in mine innocence.
Yes, but as was revealed in yesterday's proceedings, the witness is not as innocent as we had perhaps first been led to believe.
By using bars of soap such as this, he has been stealing gas from the supply company, yes. One may smile and be a villain. Forsooth, 'twas I, Shamspear, did have a room full of the sweet fuel given.
That's right. Fellow jurors, don't forget, this man is a rotten thief. I haven't forgotten. Kept all that about the ice coins a tidy secret, didn't you? You should have owned up sooner.
Arrest him, I say. Arrest him at once, and let him feel the sting in my tail. Oh, indeed, by dint of vile and cowardly means have I plotted to further mine own ends. I confess, thou wouldst not pardon my sins, of that I am sure.
If you acknowledge your wrongdoing, what exactly are you doing here?
Cowards die many times before their deaths, and for a coward such as I, death will be well deserved. But would it that a still greater crime passeth unpunished? For lo, the hairy-faced gentleman of farther east than Verona did contrive to poison me.
There he goes. He likes to hop around.
Objection!
But there was no poison in the tea found in your room. The police have attested to that.
What the defense would assert as an inconsistency will quickly be cleared up by the witness's testimony. Is that not so, Mr. Shamspear? Verily, my liege, I would most gladly speak.
Very well. Let the witness testify to explain this inconsistency. Tell the court why it is that poison apparently entered your body, though none was found in the tea. Now, what's he gonna make up this time? The tea inconsistency.
The Japanese man did come to my chamber with tea brewed in a pot. 'Twas in my cup alone that the wicked miscreant secretly poured his wicked poison. Whilst feigning distraction in our debate, ne'er did a drop of his own drink pass his lips. When he departed by and by, I did use the tea that remained in his cup to make my coins of ice. Thus 'tis no surprise that poison be not found in the tea I did pour into the molds of soap.
The poison was slipped into the cup after the tea had been poured. Hold on. Ah, okay. So he's saying that Natsume poured them both some tea. He poisoned the other man's cup and then didn't drink his tea. And then the guy used Natsume's tea to do the ice. Okay, now I already know how to disprove that through the rings in the teacups, because if Natsume had left tea in his cup, he would also have a tea ring. Alright. Poison was slipped into the cup after the tea had been poured. The normal way for poison to be administered, in my experience. Right. Otherwise, it would be disastrous if the poisoner were to mix up the cups, for instance. But no poison bottle was found at the scene. Because, quite simply, the Nipponese took the bottle back to his own room. Why didn't they search his room, then? Of course, they probably wouldn't find anything in all the piles of books everywhere. So.
The absence of a vessel containing the poison only becomes problematic when considering suicide.
I knew that.
By now, it should be perfectly clear. A bar or two of cheap soap is wholly insufficient to wash the deep stains of guilt from the accused's hands. Sirs, madams, 'tis true that I, Shamspear, be a common thief of gas. But, listen here, ladies and gentlemen. Wherefore would I lie? Verily, I have no cause. I have naught to lose. Well,
I do declare. Thank you for your testimony, witness. Counsel, proceed with the cross-examination. Yes, my lord. I think he does have a motive, though. I've already figured you out. I think. The man came to my chamber with tea brewed in a pot. I understand that you were already acquainted with Mr. Natsume. Is that correct?
I know thee not, old man. Fall to thy prayers. Do I know thee, or know thee not? Methinks 'tis all I can know that thy destiny mingles with mine.
You lost me at the first thee.
Zounds, sir, thou must learn the English tongue afore thou turns thy hand to lawyering.
I did, but I must have missed the archaic Elizabethan lecture.
Verily and in truth, 'twas a fine flavoured brew, though a drop of poison did barb its sweetness, as the thorn doth barb the sweet rose. That, dear friends, be the simple truth.
Listen to Mr. Shamspeare. He seems in even better form than he was yesterday.
Either that, or I'm in worse form.
That fated evening, after I did dine, at Grubb's Grubbery, a local alehouse of good report, naught did pass my lips but the tainted black tea.
I think that he said he didn't eat or drink anything that night, though, so I think he lied about that.
But behold, the poison was not in the tea at first.
It was in my cup alone. He secretly poured the poison. Are you saying that you saw the moment when the poison was added to your tea?
To have witnessed the act and then drank the tea, thou dost describe the actions of a fool.
Quite so, quite so.
But no one likes going thirsty, do they? Sooner would I die quenched than parched. Would I have the choice?
Actually, on the night in question, a water main was frozen, I believe, wasn't it?
Were it not for the tea, in sooth, I would sooner have died frozen than quenched or parched.
Right. No ice coins means no heating. The witness had more than one brush with death on the night in question, it would seem.
Remind the court, Mr. Shamspeare, as to whether the accused drank any of the tea which he brought with him. With the greatest of pleasure, my liege.
While feigning distraction, Nair did a drop of his own drink pass his lips.
Hold it!
I think that's what I'm going to respond to, or it's the next one. But the teacup Mr. Natsume drank from was found completely empty at the scene. And let's not forget the defendant's maxim, drink tea while it's hot.
I did gulp from the poisoned cup that night, and in mine agony did I writhe uncontrolled. In fits of pain I did knock the fellow's cup, and its contents spilt as blood from a gaping wound, methinks.
He's saying he spilled his cup. There's no stain, though.
Though certainly 'twas after I had made the coins of ice from his tea.
Huh.
An upset cup was found on the table that the victim was slumped over. There is no contradiction here.
It's true, there was no tea left in either cup that we found at the scene. But still, something about this statement is troubling me.
Yes, of course. I know what it is. It's Mr. Natsume's wise drink tea while it's hot maxim, isn't it?
No, I'm not sure that's it. What did she say?
Yeah, I think this is the statement I need to reply to, but we'll see. Thank you, witness. Now reiterate for the court what it is that occupied you after your guest had left and before you drank your tea. When he departed, I used the tea that was in his cup to make my coins of ice.
Hold it!
Yes, so that you could cheat the gas company, in fact. Isn't that right?
To cheat, or to die. 'Tis life's only choice.
Yes.
Faith, to cheat be the wise choice, and mine occupation be not an ugly one. Prithee, dost thou not see beauty in the simplicity of the ruse? No, I don't. And be very sure, sir, once this trial is over, Altamont Gas will take you to task over this. Legal task. I shall not run. I shall not hide. Sooth to say, I have nowhere to run nor to hide. But my lady, what wouldst thou with this pitiful player?
Oh, I'll tell you what I'd like to do with you, starting with the shoddy shirt on your back.
'Tis time for a Shakespeare dance.
He's got nothing to say. She's gonna beat his ass. She's gonna get him. She's gonna get him. And I would love to see it.
What a harsh world we live in.
The thieving of the gas was addressed in yesterday's proceedings. The prosecution calls on the defense not to muddy the waters with irrelevancy.
Consider that a warning, counsel. Yes, my lord. Why am I the one in trouble here?
Mr. Shakespeare, after the accused returned to his own lodgings, he used his tea to make your coins. Is that correct?
To cheat or to die. I did make my choice many moons ago.
The Shakespeare dance, sure to bring joy and warmth to the hearts of those that witness, of course. If awkward situation, do a little dance. I see, yeah. Take those notes! Write that down, no surprise that poison couldn't be found in the tea I poured into the soap.
Hold it!
If, having first made your special coins, it was after 2 in the morning when you collapsed, that would mean you can't have drunk any tea yourself until around that time.
Once ensnared by literary debate, naught else be found in the furrows of the mind.
The debate about Romeo and Juliet, you mean? And who was the stronger?
Rightly did I pay no heed to the tea as I wrestled with the abominable fellow.
I don't remember debates like that when I was studying. Are you suggesting that neither of you actually drank the tea whilst it was hot that evening?
My lord, wouldst thou be privy to some Shakespearean wisdom? Husband, wife, and tea ought I tepid be.
Ah yes, so very true. Everyone has different preferences when it comes to tea.
I think you might have interpreted that wrongly. So it's been proven that there was no poison in Soseki-san's tea. That should be hugely in our favor. But the atmosphere in this courtroom today... It feels as though everybody... Oh,
it feels as though everybody's against us, Mr. Naruhodo.
It must be the Reaper's poison.
I'm afraid that if we don't find a significant flaw in this testimony somewhere, the jury will pounce and find Mr. Natsume guilty.
It really feels like we've jumped into the fire here. So I think it was that one... Yeah, this one. And I think I'm going to show... Well... Yeah, I'm going to present the teacups. Debates in old London sure were more lively and hands-on. The impact of their arguments surely would be more palpable as well. I'm sure.
Objection!
You claim that Mr. Natsume didn't drink a drop of tea on the night in question. But that's impossible.
How? Chop logic. What is this, ye dark-clad fiend?
The 2 teacups from the scene, one used by the victim and the other by the defendant, have a clear difference between them. One that represents incontrovertible proof. Incontrovertible.
What difference?
Look at the inside of the cups. Just here, there's a clearly visible ring.
Yes, a tea ring. Commonplace enough.
You're not looking at the cups? That's paper? Zeeks, that's a scroll. We're looking at the cups right now, sir? Okay. Indeed. Such stains occur all too readily when one leaves tea in the cup roll. And yet, Mr. Natsume's cup has no such ring. Good lord, you're right. It's completely clean.
And prithee, sir, what makest thou of it?
Exactly what Mr. Natsume told the court yesterday. The Japanese saying he quoted.
Drink.
Tea. While it's hot. That's right. Yes. The jittery Mr. Natsume was true to his usual self that night and drank his tea in no time. If, as you claim in your testimony, he didn't touch a drop of his tea, a ring would have developed on the inside of his cup as well after the several hours the tea was left standing. But, in short, Mr. Shamspear, you clearly lied to the court. Get thee to a nunnery! I love that that's what he defaults to when he's stressed out. As a rule, I fill my hallowed chalice up to 7 times during any one trial. You might want to keep that information to yourself. I drank it all! Yet, on occasion, tedium distracts me and I pour more times than I intended until the bottle is dry. Your drinking habits are fascinating, but irrelevant. On the contrary, they illustrate the fickleness of human memory. To William Shamspear. Yes, my liege. Though you previously stated that you made the coins of ice from the leftover tea in the accused's cup, could it be that you were perhaps mistaken? Eh? Could it be that, yes, perhaps there was some tea remaining in the small teapot left at the scene? There was a teapot left? A fact that had vanished from your memory until now. Faith, my liege, though thou art a magician. For verily, 'tis as though thou hast seen with thine own eyes that night. What? Objection! He's leading the witness. Come on. Maybe a snooty artist rendition? This man only knows wine and chalice. If you hand him a scroll and tell him it's a teacup, he's gonna believe you. Scroll could be a teacup, a very ineffective one. Yeah, anything really could be a teacup, with varying degrees of success. I will acknowledge that. Alright. Forsooth, I was mistook. I did plan to use tea from the Japanese fellow's cup, but lo, when I looked, 'twas empty. And thus did I use the dregs that festered in the teapot, as my liege did suggest. So he poisoned your cup and the teacup?
Objection!
And you've just suddenly remembered now that you made a mistake before? Are we supposed to believe that?
Objection!
People's memories are imperfect, my learned friend, which is why we rely on evidence instead. But, in any case, it makes no difference. The victim's most recent testimony tells us 2 things of note. Firstly, that the poison was put into the victim's teacup only. What about... Oh, no, I see what they're saying. So, there was tea poured in both cups. Natsume, apparently, poisoned, Sham's cup. And then the teapot was left alone. And that's what he used to make the discs, which is why they didn't have poison in them. That's what they're arguing. Okay. Technically, hands can be a teacup. Just have to deal with the burning somehow. Bishi, can I be a teacup if I really wanted to? Of course. Of course you can. You can be anything you want to be, including a teacup. You could sing the song, I'm a little teacup. Teacup? I'm sorry. Teacup, short and stout. Here is my handle. Here is my, or here's my handle, here is my spout. You know, you do a little song. There you go. Okay, Zeeks, so he's saying poison was put into Sham's cup only. Okay. Everything is a teacup now. And secondly, that this spoiled cup was not the source of the insipid ice coins that have bewitched this court. The prosecution makes a fine summary of the facts. Okay. And the poisoned... Wait, what did he say? Poisoned cup wasn't used to make the ice coins. I love the history button. I love it. It helps me so much.
Furthermore, that testimony remains valid and in full support of the established facts. In other words...
Oh, the cape's coming off!
The inconsistency claimed by the defense simply does not exist. No.
What does this mean, then?
I do declare it means there's no issue with the gas thief's testimony.
Apart from the bit about thieving gas, obviously.
My lords, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I do solemnly swear, after I did dine at Grubb's Grubbery Alehouse that night, naught did pass my lips but the black tea given me by the Japanese, whose back be stooped as low as death.
And on what did you dine, sir?
Why, I did partake of my favorites. A broth as wouldst be called soup, and a leaf as wouldst be called salad.
Soup and salad? Okay, so he ate food beforehand. Maybe this will be relevant later, I don't know.
As insalubrious a menu as the establishment where it was served. But you gods will give us some faults to make us men. Willingly would I suffer what punishment 'tis seen fit to serve a wicked thief of gas. But I pray ye wise and noble fellows ne'er forget the simple truth. That be one thing, and this be another. Jurors all, your humble servant Shamspeare doth entreat you, punish the Japanese fellow for his sins. My lord!
I may speak, my lord. Yes, Mr. Foreman. I believe we may have been duped by that rotten defense lawyer.
By me? I do declare you may be right.
We all know the waif there was making coins of ice to keep himself warm. But this lawyer lad says if he's stealing gas, he deserves a dose of poison, eh? He's been leading us up the garden path, that's what he's been doing. I really never said anything like that. But what we just heard from the victim there has opened our eyes again. We've reached a decision this time, and we won't be swayed from it. Or will you? Board acknowledges the position of the jury foreman, and will duly hear the jury's findings. What? No, you can't yet. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will state your decisions now.
Guilty!
Guilty.
It's time for another examination,
Guilty.
summation,
Guilty.
declaration,
Guilty.
what have you. I hereby declare the jury to be in one accord.
Oh, happy day!
He's shaking those hips! Look at him go! Oh my god. Shamspeare? Stop it! Stop. How is this happening? My lord, the defense asserts its right to carry out a summation examination. Very well. Court upholds the defense's right.
Typical. My learned friend is unable to accept the obvious truth.
This trial will therefore enter its second summation examination immediately. Jurors, the court calls upon each of you. State the grounds upon which you find the defendant guilty of the crime of which he is charged. How is this happening? I've been asking that all through the game, kid. We should dance in retaliation. Yes, put all your dancing emotes in the chat. We have to outdance him. You have to outdance him. The jurors' contentions. I wonder if there's a limit to how many summation examinations you can have. Apparently not! Like, apparently not? Just anytime they're like, oh, he's guilty, we can be like, wait a second. Can I perhaps change your mind on that? Victorian dance-off. Oh my god. Oh, that frog one is so cute. These are all very cute. Oh my goodness. The booties! They're shaking it. They're shaking it! Oh my god. I do absolutely adore that's Bob, right? Animal Crossing one. I love him. But yeah, the frog is super cute. Oh my goodness. Amazing, amazing. We've been here for a week. Trial's over. Yep, yep. I heard about that Arkham. Yeah, I saw that. Like, of course. He's never retiring, I swear. Oh my god. All the booties! Yes, Friday night! It is Friday night. It's literally Friday night. I think y'all are killing it. I think y'all are getting them. It's like I'm collecting booties. Yeah! Booty collector.
I'm a man of logic, me, and having considered all the evidence, the defendant must logically be guilty.
Oh?
I do agree that gas is far too expensive. I can quite understand why the man would want to avoid paying.
The stuff explodes and it can poison you. It's absolutely lethal, gas is. Gas doesn't come for free. It costs a fortune to deliver it around the city and maintain the pipes. Truth be told, the tea my wife serves up for me is a little sketchy at times. Uh-oh. If nothing else passed the victim's lips that night, there's no other explanation, is there?
Well, he ate the food. That's the same night.
I do feel that perhaps personal opinion about gas and its supply has influenced decisions somewhat. But never mind.
No, you really should mind.
The truth is, our counter-argument wasn't as unassailable as we'd hoped. And Mr. Shamspeare was poisoned. There can be no doubt of that.
And how are we supposed to turn this around?
I think we need to establish the method by which Mr. Shamspeare was actually poisoned.
Okay, that's gonna be the big thing we gotta do here.
Our only hope is to demonstrate that to the court incontrovertibly.
But that's surely almost impossible at this stage.
If we don't manage it, though, Mr. Natsume will
be found guilty.
No delays, counsel. Proceed with the summation examination.
See that little shit in the back? Oh my god. The defense's rebuttal. A man of logic, a defendant must logically be guilty.
Hold it!
All the evidence, you say?
That's right. And there's no room for doubt. It's all pointing at that Japanese man with the big mustache.
Says the Englishman with the bigger mustache.
Which means we need to show the man some new evidence to make him change his mind.
If only we had that kind of evidence.
Don't worry. The summation examination has barely started. Perhaps there'll be a shift to the situation that shows an existing piece of evidence in a new light.
Let's hope so. To start with, though, I need to find some way out of this deadlock. Gas is too expensive. I can understand why he would steal it.
Hold it!
This isn't the time or the place to be discussing the price of gas, madam.
But really, think of the injustice. Air is a gas, and the air is free. Why should Altamont gas cost money? It makes my blood boil. I can feel myself becoming more ruthless than ever.
I actually completely agree with you. Necessities should be free. Yes. This isn't the time or the place to be ruthless either.
If I might interject here.
Ah, yes, madam.
It seems my fellow juror takes issue with the price our company charges for gas. But it's precisely because of thieves like this man that the cost goes up.
Oh, what a beastly man. That unkempt mustache, those hunched shoulders, poisoning tea and stealing gas. Utterly unforgivable.
He didn't steal the gas. No. Mr. Natsume isn't the one who's been stealing gas. I'll thank you not to go adding on more crimes.
Mr. Natsume hasn't been poisoning tea either. Well, anyway, I've quite made up my mind. It's as made up as the price of gas.
Anti-capitalism juror, yeah. Oh, I think my cat's about to get the zoomies. She's trying to help us with our Victorian dance-off. There you go. I love when pets get the zoomies. The stuff explodes and can poison you. It is lethal.
Hold it!
Can we please talk about the poison rather than the gas, do you think, sir? Well, if you like. I mean, to be honest, I'd take poison over gas every time. You would take poison? What I mean is, poison can only poison you. It doesn't explode, does it?
Goodness me, what are you talking about? Set him straight, please, lawyer man.
Well, it's certainly true that poison isn't prone to exploding. But I think you'll find poison also can't light or heat up a room.
Ah, you're right. I hadn't considered that at all.
Oh my god.
Young lawyer man,
Yes?
you have a good head on your shoulders. We could use someone like you as our company's legal representative.
Well, I wasn't expecting to pick up more business in the middle of a trial, that's for sure. Anyway, the point is, I haven't had the best experience with gas companies in the past. Okay. Gas doesn't come for free. It costs a fortune to deliver and maintain the pipes.
Hold it!
Can we please refrain from all this talk of gas?
There's an all-out attack underway here, in case you hadn't noticed, against my company's gas. And I'm supposed to sit here and take it, am I? I don't think so.
She's really buzzing now.
All I've heard about our wonderful fuel is explosions and poisonings. What about electricity, What about getting electrocuted? What about that? A little explosion here and there is nothing in comparison.
Any explosion could hardly be described as nothing, madam. Nevertheless, the theft of your gas is deplorable.
My point exactly. The gas thieves aren't even the worst of our enemies. We have far more devious reprobates to contend with on a daily basis, you know.
More devious? Who, madam?
Other gas companies, of course.
Other gas companies? Not quite what I was expecting.
We generate gas and we deliver it to our customers fair and square.
Indeed. Nobody is questioning that, madam. Altamont is an exemplary gas company.
But there are other unscrupulous gas companies here in London that don't even have any gas at all.
What? But if they don't have any gas, how do they go about selling it to people?
You wouldn't think it possible, would you? But they steal our gas, you see, and sell that.
They steal your gas? How on earth is such a thing possible?
Gas companies like ours deliver gas to people's homes via a network of pipes. But these devious reprobates secretly disconnect our pipes and divert our gas into their own rotten pipes. Then they make a contract with the households supplied by those pipes, and take money for the precious gas that's rightfully ours without us even knowing. They're diverting gas into their own pipes illegally. What a brazen form of theft! When we visit customers' houses to collect the money from their meters, we always have to check whether or not one of these devious companies has been up to its tricks.
Oh?
Excuse me.
Do you have something to say about that, juror number 3? Oh, golly, you mean me? I'm terribly sorry. I was just thinking to myself. I really did catch him off guard there. Thinking about what the lady next to you was saying? Correct? Well, yes. I just got a little riled about it recently, you see.
Go on.
An Altamont gas worker visited my house the other day to investigate the pipework. We need to ask for your cooperation while we carry out a secret check of your property, sir, the fellow said. So I let him in, and do you know what he did? I'm, afraid I have no idea. Please tell us. He proceeded to take one of my lights off the wall, and he grabbed the exposed mouth of the pipe and started blowing into it.
What do you think you're doing, young man? You're giving away company secrets there.
Oh, please. Everybody knows. But it was very nearly the death of me, I can tell you. What do you mean?
I'll explain if you don't mind.
That's why she's so angry about the gas. I was wondering why she hated Shakespeare so much. Yeah, she is the co-owner of the gas company that he was stealing from, yeah.
As I said before, these unscrupulous other gas companies connect their customers to our pipe network.
Yes, but how does blowing into the pipes come into it?
Obviously, there's gas in the pipes, and it's at a fairly low pressure. By blowing air through the pipe, you can make the pressure drop temporarily. And if you do that, any lights connected to the same pipe will flicker for a moment.
Ah, I see. In other words, if, upon blowing into the pipe, the lights of an adjacent property that has no contract with your company flicker, you can know that these devious scoundrels have been meddling with the pipes.
Exactly, my lord. That's it in a nutshell. It's the reason why we have teams of workers going around neighborhoods to investigate which lights flicker.
Trouble is, the particular worker who came into my house didn't know the strength of his own breath. He blew down the pipe with all his might, and you can guess what happened, can't you?
Well, if he blew hard, then... Wait, you mean...
That's right. The lights didn't just flicker, they went out, along with the stove. Gas started pouring into the house.
Oh, what a disaster. Gas supply must have been interrupted briefly because the man blew too hard, so the flames went out.
I'm afraid I yelled at the fellow. Are you trying to kill us all, I said?
So by disconnecting a lamp and blowing into the exposed gas pipe, it's possible to extinguish lamps and stoves connected to the same network of pipes.
Oh, we're cracking this case!
Oh my god, that's what's been happening to Natsume, and that's what happened to the previous tenant who died. That's how, Sham is killing them. I think Sham did it. I mean, I'm talking as if that's the truth. I don't actually know, but I think Sham is the one doing this. I know, it already sounds like a bad idea, right? I was like, gas just starts pouring out, kills everybody. So, okay. By disconnecting a lamp and blowing into the pipe, you can extinguish lamps and stoves. I'm just verbatim writing this down to the same network. So maybe Sham is blowing out lights next Natsume's room. Okay. And then when the gas starts flowing again, it just silently seeps into the room. Mr. Neruhodo, I think perhaps... Yes, this is almost certainly the clue that we've been hoping for. Juror number 3. The defense requests that you amend your statement to include that information.
Oh, well, if you like, I don't mind.
Well, I do. That's our company's secret method of identifying the rogues that steal it.
Like I said, ma'am, it's widely known already. Very well. Juror number 3 will amend your statement accordingly.
Yes, my lord. Although I'm not really sure what the point of all this is. Blow too hard into a gas pipe and you extinguish everything in the house, and then you're in real trouble. Okay.
Hold it!
When you say extinguish everything in the house, do you mean even on different floors?
Oh yes, all floors are connected to the same pipe after all.
That's true of every building, because gas supply contracts are issued for whole properties.
Well, I had no idea that it was possible to extinguish gas appliances simply by blowing down the pipe.
It's not something we like to publicize, to be honest, but we have to carry out these investigations, as I'm sure you can appreciate.
Indeed, it has been mentioned on more than one occasion in the papers even.
Is that so? It's been mentioned to me too, very recently. An incident involving the gas stove going out inexplicably, almost leading to someone's death. Mr. Naruhodo, I think perhaps... Yes, it's finally starting to fall into place. A secret link that joins all of these strange occurrences. The tea my wife serves for me is a little sketchy at times. How did humanity make it past the 1800s, I swear to God, right? Like, how are we still here? You mean it's poisoned?
That's right. It's happened a tidy few times now. This is most troubling indeed. It's always days like this one when I don't get any wages. I get in at tea time, see? And I see her doing it, my wife. She gets that devilish look on her face and she slips some white powder into my cup.
And you drink it anyway? I was brought up proper, I was. If someone gives you a cuppa, you drink it. And what happened to you? What happened to you? What did it taste like? It was god-awful, believe you me. Salty as hell.
Oh, it was salt.
And
I think perhaps what your wife put in your tea was salt.
no. So, she doesn't even care enough to poison me properly, eh? Unbelievable. Let's move on, please. The old man! Nothing else passed his lips that night. There's no other explanation. Does that mean that if the victim could be shown to have ingested something else, you would change your leaning? Sorry? What's that now? Oh, I was just saying, if the victim did actually eat or drink something else... What's the matter with you? Sorry? I said, if nothing else passed the victim's lips that night, there's no other explanation, is there? Haven't you been listening to me at all? I feel there's an English expression about a pot and a kettle that's appropriate here.
Compared to the other jurors, who don't even appear to have anything to say about the case at all, it would seem that this elderly gentleman has been listening to the proceedings far more intently.
Isn't that silly?
I suppose. The trouble is, he has selective hearing.
Exactly.
But still, this juror may well be the key to the breakthrough that we so desperately need.
This is hopeless. There's no way for me to appeal to these people.
I do think that the only way we shall overcome this difficult situation is by exposing the way in which Mr. Shamspeare was really poisoned. We have to prove that it happened some other way and not via Mr. Natsume's tea.
Yes, I know. The trouble is, I have absolutely no idea how it did happen.
Mr. Naruhodo, I wonder if perhaps there's something you might have forgotten.
Oh? Like what?
It's important to watch everyone involved and pursue people if they react to something. If you'd like me to remind you exactly what I mean, I'd be more than happy to, of course.
Once again, Soseki-san's fate is entirely in my hands here. I probably owe it to my client to hear advice my assistant may be able to offer. Perhaps I ought to let Susato-san remind me. Then again, no need. Actually, I don't think there's any need. It's vital that we start trying to change these jurors' minds as soon as possible.
Of course. I'm sure you're right. But if you decide you would like your memory refreshed, you need only ask, Mr. Naruhodo.
Okay.
Hey, Anna. Howdy. How you doing? Welcome in.
I am currently in an examination summation. One of those things. We're trying to pit the jurors against each other, figure things out. You're hungry? Oh no! Get a snack! I'm actually hungry too. I ate right before stream, but I always get hungry like halfway through already. Oh. I'm not quite sure what to do here. I have to pit them against each other, but I don't really see anything right now. You get a snack. I'll get a snack when I'm done streaming. Make sure the snack isn't poison. Yeah, we're talking all about poison in this case. Oh my god. Yeah, we're in the second day of court right now. I have my theories on what's going on, but we don't quite know exactly everything yet, so. The defendant must logically be guilty. Gas is too expensive. If you blow into the pipe, you extinguish everything. Gas doesn't come for free, it costs a fortune to deliver it around the city. The tea my wife serves is sketchy. Nothing else past the victim's lips, there's no other explanation. I guess let's save real quick, because I don't know what to do. It's usually pretty obvious to me during these parts, but... They said that jurors number 6 is probably going to be the key to this? They didn't really say much, though. And then these three are all talking about gas. So maybe we would talk to him?
Objection!
I don't think that's it. Those two statements are fundamentally at odds with one another. Oh, maybe one of the gas statements was at odds? Okay, let's do that. Maybe we have to work our way to the last juror. Maybe I need to do the gas stuff first. Oh, not you, not you. Maybe her against, her? Because they are at odds with each other. It's just, I don't see how it's relevant right now, but...
Objection!
No? Hmm. This isn't good. Well, let's see. So the guy's statement changed. So that should be significant, right? What does he say? He talks about the, then you're in real trouble. Don't remember this one at all. Hmm. We should probably pit him because that was new dialogue we got. I pressed everyone. I even pressed the blonde guy after he changed his testimony or his statement. I might need a hint. It's also late and my brain is sleepy. Not just me, not me, but my brain. Like, am I ready to pit people against each other? Because it kind of feels like there's nothing to pit against each other right now. What have I already tried? I tried, her against her. I tried, him against the leader of the jurors. That's it. I feel like I should probably pit him against somebody because this is new dialogue, so it's probably important. But I don't know who at all is at odds with what he's saying. The only other two that talk about gas are these two. Maybe them?
Objection!
No. I'm not quite sure of any of these choices I'm making, so I'm like, I don't... I feel like maybe I'm missing something, like, something else needs to change. I don't really feel like there's anything... I'm trying to think of a funny or smooth way to bring up the hint I'm thinking of shouting out if requested, but I can't think of anything. Oh, go ahead and shout out the hint, because I need some assistance. I guess, like, am I ready to pit people against each other, or is there another step I haven't done yet? Even that alone would probably help me. If I'm ready to pit people against each other, though, I might need an additional hint because I really have no idea right now what to do. You ready to pit? Okay, well then. Meet me in the pit! Oh, shit. I'm a man of logic. Having considered all the evidence, the defendant must logically be guilty. Gas is too expensive. I mean, yeah, they're not even... Like, the only ones that talk about gas are these three. I think what he's saying is irrelevant. I know Susato is saying we need to figure out how the poison was given to him other than the tea. That's the main thing we're going for right now. There's a hint in the evidence. Okay, let me look at that again. Dish that tea. I know, I'm trying. Okay, well, now I figured this out, at least. He is he has all the handprints because he's not messing with the painting, he's messing with the lamp. And so that just further proves what I'm thinking, that Sham is the one blowing out the lamp. But that's not really giving me a hint for what to do right now. But I figured that out. I know what you have to do, I just don't know what else to say if needed. Oh, to like, not just outright tell me what to do. Yeah, I understand. It can be kind of hard to think of a hint without just outright telling me. I don't know. I don't want you to tell me what to do. I do prefer hints as much as possible. But like, I'm at a loss. Like, I'm looking at things. I feel like I'm doing a math question right now. Or something, like a math puzzle. You need to do the thing with the person and the other thing, right? Yeah, of course. That's the answer right there. Maybe him with him? Did I already do that though? I don't even remember who I've pitted now. I'm gonna write it down because I can't even remember. I've pitted the two ladies. I've pitted both ends of the jurors. I don't remember what else I've done. Let me try this guy against this guy.
Objection!
No. I think I did do that. Okay, first against third. Yeah, I know, I just did it. Yeah, he's objecting. I don't know why I'm so stuck on this one. Okay. I feel like at this rate, I'm just gonna be doing trial and error. It really feels like that. How many are there? I'm about to basically do math. We've done 2 and 4. We've done 1 and 6. We've done 3 and 1. You got stuck on this too? Okay. I'm glad I'm not the only one. It's asking you... See, that's a hint for me right there. It's asking you to make a leap you usually don't have to. Okay. You gotta think outside the box. Okay, how about this? You can give me half the answer. Do I pit him against somebody right now? I feel like I should. I just can't think of who the other person would be. But is he one? That would give me half of the puzzle here. So I already feel like that's the answer, but 3 is correct. Okay, that's what I thought. So it's gonna be 3 versus 2, 4, 5, or 6. Because 1 was not right. So let's just go ahead and pit so I can see his statement. So it's not 1. Extinguish everything, and then you're in real trouble. Gas is too expensive. I can understand why he would want to avoid paying. Maybe it's this one? Nothing else passed the victim's lips that night. There's no other explanation. If he... I mean, not that he's ingesting the gas. I'm kind of seeing some kind of logic here, but I don't know if that's right. Let me just...
Objection!
Okay. All right. That is really odd. That is really a jump there. I'm gonna see what the explanation is before I explain what I thought. Let me just see what they say, because that I saw that after you said it's a leap. I was like, okay, let me think, you know, not gas against gas statement, but something else. Okay. Those two statements clearly contradict each other.
Good gracious. To whose statements do you refer, counsel?
Juror number 6. Did you hear what juror number 3 just said?
Eh? What? Yes, of course. I heard him mumbling about something or other.
There is another explanation here, I believe. Something besides Mr. Natsume's tea did, in a manner of speaking, pass the victim's lips on the night in question.
What? What explanation?
I wonder, did the police check the mouth of the gas pipe feeding the wall light at the scene? To see if there were any traces of poison there? Huh. So the thinking is that the poison could have gotten through the pipes.
I was curious to see what your floundering would result in this time, but the mouth of a gas pipe.
I guess that's what I was thinking too. As soon as I realized, okay, it's gonna be outside the box. Because here's why I didn't think of this right away. I was still so focused on the fact that he did admit to eating something that night. So I was like, well, nobody's talking about that, but I feel like that's what would disprove the old man. And then when I think of him blowing out the gas, I don't think of him ingesting it. I think of him blowing into the pipe, so it wouldn't, you know, splash back? You know, it would splash back onto him, but I guess it is possible. The gas is right there in your face, so... Okay. Yeah. It's definitely, like, a little bit more... what's the word? Not... I forget the word. Whatever. It's a little bit more difficult to ascertain what exactly they're going for right there. I find it especially weird because even though it's the 7th case overall, it's also case 2? Yeah? That last part definitely required a leap. Yeah, I mean, the fact that you said that did help me a little bit. That was a hint of a kind of hint. Oh my god, I can't talk. Oh, okay, so you would expect case 2 difficulty. I see. Convoluted. Yeah, that's a word that it's probably a synonym to what I was thinking of. Yeah. It's more convoluted than usual. But yeah, I guess it's just like, as you keep going throughout the 2 games, it's not so much, oh, you're starting a new game, so it's gonna get easy to more difficult again. Instead, it's like, this is one whole continuation from before, so no, it's just gonna get harder and harder and harder. I see that now. Okay.
Scotland Yard have enough to do without exploring such irrelevance. What a piece of work is a man.
What are you trying to say, Mr. Shamspeare?
What speakest thou? Prithee, is it not strange and strange? That is what I say to thee, sir.
Really likes to hop. I thought I'd been quite clear, but let me put it another way. The strychnine could have been on the mouth of the gas pipe that feeds the wall lamp in your room. And that is how the poison came to enter your body. Okay. So the mouth of the pipe could have had poison on it. And when Sham blew into it to snuff out Natsume's lights, it could have poisoned him. I mean, yeah, he's putting his mouth on things he really shouldn't. A little dangerous. I also don't know how this reads in Japanese, so it might be more clear in that version. That's true. This is a translation. I'm looking for the Japanese transcripts to shove into Google Translate if I can find any. Yeah. And I mean, the localization team, I'm sure, does the absolute best that they can. And of course, a direct translation isn't always necessarily the best translation, but I do wonder if, like, directly translating these words would kind of show you, oh, they said it in a particular way where maybe it could have been a little more obvious in the original. I don't know. Only the first 2 cases of the original. Ah, okay. Maybe you should try something more phallic. A pipe, is it? It's Friday night. That is how the poison came to enter your body.
Good lord.
He's reacting to your comment and good lord! Localization team's pretty dang on point, so yeah.
Are they tasty then, gas pipes? Is that what he's saying?
Or is it the gentleman suggesting that the poor man was so desperately hungry he tried to fill his belly with gas?
Perhaps no actress would perform a kiss scene with him, For shame, madam, speaking thy fancy. I assure you, I'm not such a buffoon that I have to kiss pipes.
Objection!
Kissing pipes?
This is no summation examination. This is a farce. The prosecution will not stand for any more of my learned Nipponese friend's conjecture. To begin with, the lamp in the victim's room is high on the wall. In order to have placed his lips to the pipe that feeds it, he would have had to be a contortionist. These are empty assertions.
No, they're not.
No, there is no possible proof that the man did as you say.
Objection!
It's true. I have no proof that Mr. Shamspeare put his lips to the pipe. However, I can say with some certainty that on multiple occasions, Mr. Shamspeare has been doing something in front of that lamp on his wall. And I have evidence to prove it. The way that was animated and, like, when the text popped up made it seem like, and I can prove it! It seemed like he was doing that in the middle of what he was saying.
All right, you've got our attention, lad. I'd like to see how you can be so sure of yourself.
So would I. Let's see this evidence then.
Now that I've got the jury's ear, I need to make this opportunity count. This is the proof that time and time again, Mr. Shamspeare stood in front of his gas lamp. Yeah, I know the answer, but I'm saving anyway. That would be right here.
Take that!
What the? These are... Wait, what are they called? Yes, skin prints that were found at the scene.
Skin prints, counsel. I've never heard of such things. The Justice Ministry is currently assessing whether or not to permit fingerprints as evidence in court, however.
My lord, this is an exciting new forensic technique developed by the great detective Mr. Herlock Sholmes. It reveals all of the places that Mr. Shamspeare touched in his room.
I've never seen anything like it. I mean, that's black magic, isn't it? Well, anyone could invent something like this. It's that great Sholmes fellow, that's for sure.
They might throw this evidence out like last time, though.
I agree. This month's edition... Oh my god. This month's edition of Engineering Thumbs was quite fascinating.
We found skin prints in many places that you would expect. On the table, on the costumes. However, Mr. Shamspeare also appears to have been touching some very unexpected places in his room. For example, here.
Around the hanging picture there. Indeed, multiple handprints appear to be visible.
Oh my goodness, Brian, thanks so much for the raid. Welcome in, y'all. We're playing some great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve at the moment. And we're in case 2 as well, in the middle of court. And we're trying to get through this without finding our defendant or our client guilty. I think we're doing pretty good so far. I feel like I've already figured out this whole case. It's just the details that have to fall into place, but anyway. Oh, sorry to raid and run. I'm trying to avoid spoilers. Oh, no worries. I love Phoenix Wright, but haven't played these ones yet. Okay, no worries at all. I totally understand. Have a great night then, and thank you so much for the raid. I appreciate it. Have a good one. For everyone who came in with the raid with Brian, my name is Bishi. As you can see, we're playing some Ace Attorney at the moment. And I play all kinds of stuff other than Ace Attorney. I also love Yakuza. I love Pokemon. I should be playing the DLC in the next couple of weeks when it releases. Also a huge fan of Zelda, Resident Evil, Katamari. There's so many other games that I love, but those are some of the big ones and some of the ones that I've streamed in the past. But yeah. We're playing Ace Attorney all the time at the moment, trying to get through this before the second trilogy comes out next year, which I know we have plenty of time, but I'm working on it. But yeah, welcome in. I appreciate the raid, and hope y'all enjoy your stay here. Also, welcome in Benny and Hypera as well. Welcome, welcome. Let me catch up with chat here. He bends like the scepter. He does. He really does. I don't kiss pipes, a person who totally kisses pipes. Oh my god. My brain was like, when did we get to court again? Did we just skip the investigation? But no, it's just short. Yeah, the investigation was super short today. It was probably like maybe the first hour or so. Alright. Around the hanging picture there, indeed, multiple handprints appear to be visible.
Well, I wonder, would he have been appreciating the artwork, perhaps?
At first, my colleagues and I thought the same. However, imagine standing with your hands where those prints are, and you would find yourself directly in front of...
In front of? Ah! I don't believe it.
Yep. The gas lamp. Though the reason why isn't immediately obvious, it's clear that Mr. Shamspear has regularly been standing with his hands to the wall in front of that lamp. I know why he's doing it, because I am a smarty pants. Right, what have you been up to, you nut? Just twirling his ribbon. I'd ask the court to recall juror number 4's earlier statement.
Me? What did I say?
You said that blowing into a gas pipe would make the lights in the entire building flicker. And now, if you'll recall juror number 3's statement...
What? Me now?
When the gas worker who visited his home blew with too much force into the pipe, it caused all the lights in the gas stove to go out, and gas to start leaking into the rooms. Obviously, that incident was an accident. However, the simple fact is... if Mr. Shamspear were to have blown hard into the gas pipe here in his room, he could have extinguished every other light and gas stove in the building at will. Crikey!
Are you suggesting that the man purposefully caused the gas to...
Objection!
That's what we're getting at. Crikey! Suddenly Australian?
Whilst I acknowledge that the prosecution is required to remain silent during a summation examination, I must toast my learned friend's utter disregard for the letter of the law.
What is the meaning of this, Lord Van Zeeks?
This curious photograph, or whatever it is, presented by the defense, the so-called skin prints. Clearly, that cannot be accepted as any form of usable evidence in this case, of course.
I knew he was going to do this.
But it's an exciting new forensic technique, developed by a great detective. It's nothing. A mere toy developed by an amateur sleuth with too much time on his hands.
Certainly, even research of this nature by the esteemed Mr. Sholmes cannot be recognized by the court as formal evidence. But...
Please, my lord, if I may.
Mr. Sato?
It was not the defense's intention to submit the skin prints as formal evidence. We merely wish to present the results of the great detective's investigation of the scene, as a tool by which to explain a possibility to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury. And, if the trial were to come to an end now, we should never learn the truth behind these mysterious handprints that everyone has now seen. I don't believe we can allow that to happen, and I'm sure the jurors would agree.
She's so smart.
You're right. Whether those strange handprints are a significant clue or not, it's down to us to decide.
Juror number 3.
Oh yes, I do declare the great detective's investigation results sound absolutely fascinating. And I want to hear what that shady actor fellow has to say about those shady handprints.
Alright. Got 2. What's the matter with you two? That was foolhardy. Well, I did say it, didn't I? And I don't like to break a promise. No, wait! You heard his lordship. It's not fair. Nope. Always appreciate the Susato carry, yet she really does carry this whole series on her back.
Oh, well done, Mr. Naruhodo. Just one more juror changes his or her mind. Mr. Natsume's trial will have to continue.
Thank you, Mr. Sato. But I couldn't have done it without you. Yeah, you really couldn't.
Oh no, it was you who identified the clue after all. This is very much your success.
Oh, he's sweating now!
Why, Mr. Shamspear? You seem to be losing your composure. Just one more juror, Mr. Naruhodo. You can do it.
You can do it. Look at this photograph. There's so many photographs to look at. So many. Very well. Continue, counsel. Yeah, no little dances. No more berries and cream, huh? Sholme should really get his inventions verified forensic. I know, right? Smart and dashing, not to mention gallant. Our Victorian dance-off is working. Keep it up. Keep it up! Okay, so we're not quite done here. Alright. So they're good. Huh. I'm very interested in the results of this great detective's investigation. We're the ones who decide if the evidence is worthy of consideration or not. I don't believe in breaking promises. We can't come to a decision whilst so much is up in the air. Well, we can't pit them, can we? Yeah, so our only options are those 3 left, which narrows it down, but still... No idea where to go from here. Yeah, it's a tough one. Like, I feel like I should just start hitting them against each other and see what happens, because, like, I've already pressed them. I could try pressing them again and see if they say anything different?
Hold it!
All the evidence, you say. That's right, and there's no room for doubt. It's all pointing at that Japanese man. Says the Englishman, yeah. But the defense just demonstrated another possible explanation for the events on the night in question. What do you make of that? Oh, here we go. What, your so-called skin prints? It's an exciting new forensic investigation technique developed by the great detective himself. The numerous handprints on the wall are clearly out of the ordinary. And if Mr. Shamspeare had indeed put his mouth to the gas pipe on the night in question, it can't be denied that there's a possibility that's where the poison was. Well, yes, I won't deny that it's playing on my mind. But as the prosecution rightly says, we should pay no heed to unacceptable forms of evidence. And besides, yes, even if the fellow has been up to some mischief with the gas pipe dozens of times before, it doesn't mean he got up to the same shenanigans on the night in question, does it? Oh. You can't make your case better than that. I'm afraid I can't change my stance. You do make a very valid point, sir. What? That's true. Perhaps I was a little hasty. Oh, no! No, wait! Look, you've got your chance here, haven't you? So it's time to prove your theory. You and your Japanese cohorts can, that is. Just leave our nationality out of this, please. Mr. Naruhodo, if we can't substantiate our position, I'm afraid the jurors that changed their minds before may very well change them back. What can I do? Is there any more proof I can give here? Can I show that Mr. Shamspeare really did blow down the gas pipe on the night in question? I think I have supporting testimony? Here we go, I just had to press again. Good night, Arkham. Thanks so much for being here. I hope you have a wonderful night and a wonderful weekend. We'll see you next week. We'll see you later. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I have evidence, but I think testimony. I'm just making sure. Yeah, I think it's gonna be testimony. No, in truth, I don't have evidence to support my theory. However, there is witness testimony that substantiates it. What's that? Testimony? This is incredible. Whose testimony? Yes, it's all connected. Everything is linked. A person whose testimony revealed details about the gas in the BishiDove residence that night. Namely, it's probably Natsume. Let me check my notes. See? My notes are helping me. Okay, I'm just gonna say Natsume.
Take that!
Obviously, I'm talking about the defendant, Mr. Soseki Natsume himself. The defendant. At the very beginning of the proceedings here in court yesterday, Mr. Natsume said the following. My lodgings! There's been a whole series of strange happenings in my lodgings! Even on that fateful night it happened. When I returned from Mr. Shakespeare's room, I lit my gas stove and climbed into bed, but before long, the stove went out. And somebody tried to kill me! Yeah, so the suffocating he was feeling was the gas filling the room. On the night in question, the gas in the defendant's room went out. So I asked the court, was that a mere coincidence or not? Good golly! So that Shakespeare fellow blew air into the gas pipe to make the man's stove go out on purpose? Now hold your horses there. What would he do that for? To kill him? Mr. Foreman. What is it, man? We cannot allow judgment to be passed whilst this doubt remains. It's true that I don't have conclusive evidence yet. However, you must surely agree there is more to this case than meets the eye. Ah. Fair enough. Like I said at the outset, I'm a man of logic first and foremost. There we go. That's 4 jurors leaning towards not guilty, my lord. We've overturned the decision. Therefore, the defense calls for the trial to continue. We did it. We did it. I got severely stuck at one point, but that's okay. As the defense has rightfully indicated, summation examination has concluded with a majority of jurors altering their decisions. 2 jury members now call guilty. 4 call not guilty. Therefore, the jury's opinion is conflicted, and in accordance with the law of this land, I hereby order the continuation of this trial. Mr. William Shakespeare. My lord, how can thy humble Shakespeare serve thee? What say you in response to the various revelations made during the summation examination? So God mend me, I do solemnly swear, I recall aught of either the lamp or the pipe. But your handprints have made a tidy mess all over the wall there. How do you explain that, eh? I am done with this. The dignity of this great courtroom has been sullied enough already, juror number 5. Who, me? As I went to some pains to point out already, a print from the self-professed detective's toy has no place in a British court of law. As such, whether or not this man did indeed stand before the gas lamp with his hands against the wall remains, at this time, unestablished conjecture. You would all do well to remember that.
Objection!
But the prosecution must concede that it would be extremely simple to verify. Just order the mouth of the gas pipe feeding that lamp in Mr. Shakespeare's room to be examined. If there are traces of poison there...
Objection!
He was just practicing his twerking. Oh my god. His dance moves, certainly. He loves to dance. What appears to be extremely simple is my Nipponese friend's mind. You will recall that in order to check for the presence of poison in the tea, some remnants of tea were required. Yes? Therefore, it shouldn't be beyond your wit to imagine that even if poison were to have been spread on the pipe, it would have completely evaporated by now, making any analysis impossible. We're not even gonna check? I didn't think of that. In any case, counsel, I fail to see what could possibly have motivated the man to do as you describe. Why on earth would this fellow have wanted to blow air into the gas pipework where he lived? There's only one possibility that I can think of, and that is to use the leaking gas to commit murder. Order, order! Counsel! Precisely whose life do you propose this man was plotting to end? The answer couldn't be simpler. Now we've unraveled the mystery this far. Mr. Shakespeare wanted to end the life of Mr. Natsume.
Take that!
If the gas lamp were to go out, it would be noticed immediately, of course. But a gas stove, on the other hand, could be silently extinguished by the killer without anyone noticing. I live round those parts myself, so I know what it's like. I can tell you, trying to sleep without the stove lit is pretty much suicide. You'd freeze to death in no time. Mr. Garadeb, the landlord, has a large fireplace in his part of the residence, on the top floor. Right, so he doesn't have to worry about it. In other words, it wasn't the landlord, but a fellow lodger whose life Mr. Shamspeare was trying to end. Outrageous! I'm talking, of course, about the defendant. Mr. Natsume isn't the villain in this case. He's the victim this man was trying to murder. Good gracious.
Objection!
The accused is actually the aggrieved. Interesting. However, the fundamental facts of the case remain unchanged. Namely, that the accused is the aggressor here. What? How can you still claim that? Let us indulge your fancies for a moment and assume that there was indeed poison on the mouth of the gas pipe. The question that then arises is who put it there? That's true. Who did put it there? The only logical conclusion is that the person responsible was aware of this man's trickery with the gas supply and his intent to kill. Yes, that would indeed seem logical. If the assailant were unaware, how would he or she have known to lace the end of the gas pipe with poison? Well, look at what people we have right now. Maybe Duncan didn't die and he did it. I don't know. I have no idea. Or Olive? You know, like, I'm thinking, oh, maybe one of those. So now we must ask, how could anyone have known of Mr. Shamspeare's murderous designs?
You mean to suggest...
Naturally, the sole possible answer to that question couldn't be more obvious. Only the man whose life was being threatened could possibly have known. What? In other words, the person who put the poison on the gas pipe in what was a clear retaliatory attack can only have been the accused, Mr. Soseki Natsume. Whatever Mr. William Shamspeare may or may not have contrived to do, he was nevertheless the victim of a potentially lethal poison attack. And the only person who could possibly have perpetuated that attack is the accused, Mr. Natsume. The defense counsel's theorizing has failed to avert suspicion from the accused. Far from it. In fact, now that a clear motive for the poisoning has been successfully established, that suspicion is greater than ever. Would you not agree, my Nipponese friend? Oh, God. Man. Oh. Did stream mess up for a second there? It blinked out for like 2 or 3 seconds. Okay, sorry about that. The internet just, had an oopsie. How did he manage to turn that around on me so rapidly?
Mr. Naruhodo, you must respond. Otherwise, the members of the jury may very well change their leanings against us again. And this may be our last chance to gain the advantage.
What advantage?
Well, it would seem that somebody put poison on the gas pipe in Mr. Shamspeare's room. So we must name that person now and absolve Mr. Natsume of guilt.
You mean, name the true culprit?
I know it might sound impossible, but if we fail to do that, I have no doubt that Mr. Natsume's fate will be sealed once and for all.
As it happens, one possible culprit does come to mind. The evidence, the poison. That's all pointing to a particular person now. Prosecution calls for the jury to consider their leanings again. I trust you'll make the correct choice this time, Mr. Foreman. Man, I just had a brain blast moment. So I was like entertaining the idea of it being, you know, maybe this guy and he's not actually dead and he knows what he did. Well, I remember that that torn letter was found in Shamspeare's room. And I was trying to think, like, how would that have happened if it was from Duncan, because he gave the letter to Olive, and she must have been the one to tear it open. So if she was the one that tore it open, she must have left it when she went to his room and put the poison there. So she might actually know that he killed Duncan and went to go kill him. And she also had the poison. So I think it's actually Olive.
What? Oh, don't you worry. We know exactly what.
There is one other person who I believe could have been involved in all of this. The true culprit of this crime. The true culprit. A term found only in second-rate novels featuring the third-rate great detectives, my friend. But why not? This farce has gone on for so long already, I see no reason to cut it short before its disappointing climax. Thank you. Tell us, my learned friend, what is your latest theory? Who is the so-called true culprit of this crime?
Take that!
The name of the person responsible for the poison that afflicted Mr. Shamspeare is, I believe, Miss Olive Green. Miss Olive Green? Miss Olive Green. I do feel as though I've heard that name in the recent past, Counsel, but I don't recall where. Miss Olive Green. A woman from 6 days ago. The victim in the recent case of stabbing on Briar Road. An incident for which Mr. Natsume was arrested, I hasten to add. Oh, of course, yes, Miss Green. She was left comatose for some 3 days, I believe. But I hear she regained consciousness 2 days ago. It's so wild how all these characters get connected in this, like, web in these two cases. I hardly need remind the court that Mr. Shamspeare's poisoning took place 3 days ago. Given that the woman was lying comatose in a hospital bed at the time, she appears to have a rather fine alibi. True, on the night that the incident occurred, Miss Green was in hospital unconscious, so on the face of it, it would seem that she couldn't possibly be responsible, but still. My colleagues and I visited Miss Green in hospital yesterday. We found her to be in possession of a bottle of poison. Good gracious, she had poison. And there is another fact that links Miss Green to this case as well. The defense requests that she be brought to the witness stand in order to explain the details to the court. Tell me, Mr. Shamspeare.
My lord, pray, what be thy bidding?
Are you acquainted with Miss Green? No, never heard of her. Judging by the look on Mr. Shamspeare's face, I think perhaps he genuinely doesn't know her, at least not by name. As the voice of Her Majesty's prosecution here, I adhere to my word. We will see my learned friend's farce through to its conclusion. I appreciate that. The prosecution requests a short recess, my lord, in order to subpoena the witness and bring her here. Yes, Miss Olive Green. Indeed, my lord. 1 hour should be sufficient. Very well. I grant the request. Excellent. I hope. The defense has made a most extraordinary accusation, I must say. But at the present time, I feel the prosecution's argument remains largely uncontested. Accordingly, I'm afraid the defendant and his culpability remain the sole subject of this court's attention. Thank you, counsels. We reconvene in 1 hour. Court is adjourned. A whole hour? Miss Green, I barely know her. What? No, never heard of her. That was not very Shakespearean of you. Yeah. We continued, which is perfect timing, because it's time for me to go. Let me save. Alright, y'all. That's gonna be it for me tonight. We actually went for almost a full stream today. I meant to end a little bit sooner again, but as it happens, Ace Attorney is very difficult to put down in the middle of the court day. So anyway, thank y'all so very, very much for being here. Let's switch over. I hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your nights. Here is my social media. I'm most active on Twitter and YouTube. We also have a Discord if you'd like to join. I hope y'all have a wonderful night, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye!